No. We didn't get the sure this time. I didn't hit it fast enough. So sorry, Brian.
That's all right.
But yes, we are live. They can now hear us. All right. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about before we hit that theme song and get into it?
No.
All right.
Sorry,
We're caught up.
24 minutes into the live show.
Yeah, we appreciate. I saw at one point we had 3 viewers and like, oh, that's awesome, and then it bounced back down to 2. I was like, son of a bitch. So hopefully they come back. But all right,
Come back.
Oh, look at that! I see 3, but they're back. They're back. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
All right. And on that note, let's hit the theme song.
Let's do it.
We got it sped up.
Sadly enough, like I watched the concurrent viewers drop from like 3 to 0.
Are you serious?
the second I hit the theme song, all good. We don't do it for the live audience. We do it for the diehards who come back and watch us time and time again on our YouTube channel. Although we have the live show, so please come watch. But that being said, welcome to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas. Can you take our critiques? Let's find out as we dive into tonight's movie, Machete. Streaming on, what was it, Hulu?
Hulu, yes.
Hulu, sweet, yes. Machete.
Machete.
I just want to say Machete. Like every time I hear
love
it,
saying Machete. It's so fun to say.
It sounds so much cooler than saying machete.
Yeah.
Lame. I am, of course, Matt, joined tonight by the 2 people who actually changed their names for this show. Oh, man. I can guess what Brian's opinion of this movie is. Brian, a.k.a. Machete. Damn, dude. Yeah, welcome. Interested to hear what you're going to have to say.
I even struggled on my intro on this one, to be honest. You know what? We GoodFlickas, we text. We also Instagram and YouTube. So there's that.
We're everywhere. Well, welcome, Brian. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions of this movie.
You'll get them.
Good. Well, we don't have Jen tonight. I'm not sure if she didn't get a chance to watch the movie. I missed what the conversation was, if there was more in the chat. But we are down our female companion. But that is okay. We're going to get through it. We've got Nick, a.k.a. In the Name of the Father. All right. Padre.
No, it's my father.
My father. What? Oh, what did I say? The Father. Sorry, that's the Catholic in me.
See, that's why I put that name, because of the Catholic in me.
Yeah. I couldn't read it any other way, apparently. In the name of my father.
Yeah.
And what is your father's name?
Herb.
Okay.
Or Herbert.
Herbert. All right.
Herbert.
Okay. Well, this was Nick. This was your pick, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sí, hermano.
Sí. Excelente. Well, while you take that sip of water, think about why you picked this movie and apparently made Brian's life McShitty.
Well, first of all, I just want to state that I did not pick this movie based off of real world topics. It's just a pure coincidence. Just want to throw that out there. I wasn't trying to make like
immediately defends the choice.
Any political statements by picking this movie. It's just pure coincidence. So just want to get that out of the way. No, I picked this movie because one of my cousins and we watched a film called Planet Terror. And it was her recommendation to watch it. And in the beginning of Planet Terror, they do a fake trailer for a movie that was for Machete. And then they go into the movie Planet Terror. Well, supposedly, she was like, well, now you got to watch Machete. And I was like, all right, cool. And so we have been talking about watching this movie for like 6 months. We just like never got around to it. Um, and so weirdly enough, it was my pick, and she was like, "You want to watch Machete on Thursday?" And I said, yeah, sure." And then I just happened to see that it was on Hulu, and I was like, "All right, here we go. It's full on Machete this week." um, and yeah, so I enjoy Planet Terror so much, and I was like, "All right, it's made by the same people. I would enjoy this one too. I'm pretty sure." So, yeah, that's why I picked it.
Okay. Um, Brian, do you want to go first? It is your choice. I'm happy to go first and give my thoughts.
You can go first. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So I've never seen this movie. This was a first time watch. I haven't seen Planet Terror, although I've been on the hunt so that I could get the double feature. I've got Death Proof, which was the other half of that with Tarantino. Yeah, I've been wanting to see the Planet Terror, especially since I've heard about all of the fake trailers at the beginning, which most, if I'm not mistaken, have actually been turned into real movies since then, which is fun. So yeah, I kind of had an idea of what this movie was going to be like, especially knowing that Robert Rodriguez is attached to it. And for me, my biggest like connection with Robert Rodriguez is like Spy Kids. But I think we'll get into it more. He's done things like El Mariachi and I think it's like Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I have to look at the titles. But some older ones from like the 80s, 90s that are really fucking good. So I kind of knew what I was getting into when I saw this movie was picked. I was not prepared for what I saw. It was, I would have to describe this movie as a fun action movie for sure. Like if you like, gratuitous violence, lots of blood and gore, and I'd have to even say guts at this point. We'll get into that scene, I'm sure. This was a lot. It's super campy. It's absolutely ridiculous and insane. And I think that's what makes it so fun. Like while it is kind of tackling some more serious, like subject matter, like obviously, you know, the border, government, all of this stuff, like it's addressing some serious things that we're still talking about. Which Nick, you brought it up. Yeah, it does hit a little close to home at the moment. So there's that. But to me, it was a fun movie. It was absolutely ridiculous and absurd. But it's also just okay. Like it's not amazing. This isn't one of the greatest movies ever made. It's, if you like a fun action movie that's a little bit silly, a little bit ridiculous, this is for you. And there's 2 more or 3 more if you include Planet Terror. So I mean, like this is a cinematic universe on its own, and it's fun. It's not great, but it was a good time. I enjoyed this movie. I definitely laughed out loud a lot. I didn't write a ton of notes, mostly because I'm just paying attention to everything. But this was a pretty decent movie, but not overwhelming. I gave it a 3.75.
All right. Machete is a movie that I have never heard of. So when I was told to do it last week, I was like, oh, cool. A movie that is brand new to Brian. Excellent. Not excellent. Nowhere near excellent. Machete is a movie of an example of what happens when kids who grew up playing hours and hours of Grand Theft Auto decides, let's make a movie.
What?
This was ridiculous. It was the story is stupid. The over the top is stupid. There's nothing funny. And oh, and by the way, this also is a movie about elder abuse, because why Nero is in this movie is beyond me. I'm just like, no, absolutely not. Tell me this is not happening. Tell me I'm not seeing this. Don't even get me started with the amount of stars that are like the quote unquote star-studded cast that are in there. I'm not really sure what we're doing. If it wasn't for them, they're the ones that truly like saved this movie to make it watchable for me. You get rid of all the A-listers or all the big hitters, and we're just looking at a pile of garbage in someone's dream project that actually made it to the big screen. So congratulations. I'm going to give this one a 2.5. And I have there's some comments, questions, and everything, but I just did not enjoy this at all.
Wow. I had it in my mind of like Brian's either gonna love this movie or hate it.
Yeah. And guess what? The gore and all that stuff, that was probably one of the better parts of the movie.
Hmm.
And that's something that's gonna deter people from it. I know it. I was like, damn, this is some
Nice.
visual shit right now.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you know. I just want to say, Matt, based on your initial thoughts, I thought you would have went a little higher, and then Brian, on your initial thoughts, I thought you would have gone lower. So that's interesting to hear.
No, because there are some cool things about this movie that I have to give it praise to.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, my initial thoughts. Yes, so this was a first watch for me, obviously, like I said. And like I'm a lot more with Matt on this. It really is just a fun slasher, campy, like gritty action movie that's not really meant to be taken too seriously, even though the subject matter is kind of a serious thing. Um, like overall, it's just kind of fun and different. It's not like most action movies in in that it's very stylized, I think. Like the filming techniques, the color, the acting, the writing, it's all very of its own kind of genre or subgenre of action. And it's I enjoy like all these types of movies, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like I feel like it's sort of in that kind of category. um and then I get it, it's not for everyone. I get it, I understand. Not everybody likes that kind of stuff. But I just feel like we haven't really done a movie like this. I knew what to expect because of Planet Terror, so that's why I picked it. And I was like, this will be an interesting one to kind of throw in the mix here. um but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's some of the creativity with the action scenes and the dialogue that leads up to some of the action, like it kind of gets funny and creative, and um it's just interesting. Like some of it you just like haven't seen before in any other movie. And I think that that's what makes a lot of this, if not all of it, very unique. um Kind of very like what's the word, like a gag that hasn't been done before, essentially. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I actually watched it twice. Um, a little fun fact: the first time I watched it, we watched it on the DVD, um, like the uncensored version. So it had the nudity all in it, and then I watched it on Hulu, and Hulu censored the nudity. So it was a little bit of a
Okay.
different experience both times. But yeah, I enjoyed it that much that I watched it twice. Matt, do you want to say something right now,
Well,
or
just because you brought up the nudity, like I
yeah?
was really questioning because I was reading the facts on IMDb, and there was tons of stuff about like the nudity of it all, and I was like, I didn't see anything. Like, and this is one of my problems with streaming is like they and I get it, do whatever you want. You're allowed to show the movie however you see fit, but like it's kind of the problem of watching something on streaming where it's been edited, it's been changed from its original content. So it's good to know that like there things were definitely cut out of this movie, edited, because it's like not that I needed it, but I was reading these facts about all of this stuff that's going on. I'm like, I didn't see anything. Like, must be in deleted scenes, and apparently yes. So,
No, so the scenes are actually the same. The scenes are still there.
hmm.
What they did was they cropped in the image.
Oh,
Because
I thought that was a
if you
style
looked,
thing. Oh, I definitely
no,
know. I
no, no,
definitely noticed the weird framing, but I thought that was a style. Like, I thought that was a stylistic choice. No, that's just the
nope.
streaming services fucking it up.
Literally just
Okay,
cropping in the image. Yeah,
totally
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So
Okay,
the scenes are all there.
okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense too. Like I said, I noticed the weird framing, but
Mhm.
again,
Yeah.
I assumed that was a choice because of what was what was happening.
like what is not seen on screen. Yeah.
Well, just
yeah.
to kind of add to the campiness, right? Like it's more like grittier filmmaking, so it's not meant to
Yeah.
be super clean and like have perfect what's the word I'm looking for? I've said it like 6 times. Composition, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah. So anyway, so watching on both mediums. It was cool. It was cool. So overall, I gave this one a 4.4 because it's fun. It's a fun gory action movie. So
yeah, while I appreciate it for what it is, I don't think that makes it great. So that's what's kind of keeping the score down. Although I do think I would watch this again, and I definitely would watch the sequels. So I'm curious as to what it would be like to kind of watch some of them back to back. Is it you've seen Planet Terror? Doesn't it take place in the same universe?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious. Want to see him. But okay. I think that's any other like initial thoughts that we want to do? No? Excellent. I think it is that time again where we get to play the wonderful fun fact song, and here we go.
Fun facts, fun facts. Sit your butt down cause Brian's in town. Fun facts, fun facts. Here we go now, so let's talk about fun facts.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, it's
Love
still
it.
fun. It's still fun. It's still fun. I like it.
It's still fun.
It's still fun.
All right. Let's see. It is February 24th, 2025, as we are recording this live on YouTube. And if you like what you're hearing about the movie, you can find Machete streaming on Hulu right now.
Or if you hate what you're hearing about it and want to have your own opinions, you can find it on Hulu.
You can also, yeah, exactly. You can, it came out in 2010. Co-directed, you've got Robert Rodriguez and Ethan Manicus. I'll start with Manicus first because, quite frankly, he doesn't have much. He has this, and he has a movie called Lemonade that came out in 2022 that I've never heard of. Okay, Robert Rodriguez. Oh, actually, before I do this, we've heard you guys, and we had a little meeting behind the scene. And so from now on, we're going to be trying to give ourselves a 5-minute time limit on topics that we talk about. So thank you for the feedback, everybody.
We will try. We will try.
We'll try.
I get it. Everybody hates Matt talking so much.
Sometimes we won't be able to if we're talking like, directors or whatnot, but we will apply when applicable. No, that's using 2 words the right way.
We will apply when applicable.
Yeah.
That's great. I like that.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Robert Rodriguez. We'll go with this top 10. Number 10 is going to be Desperado. Then you've got Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams, it looks like.
That sounds right.
Then you have Spy Kids 3. You have Planet Terror. And you have The Faculty. Rounding to our top 5, you've got Shark Boy Lava Girl.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that's okay.
You have Spy Kids, looks like the original. You've got Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Brian, do you need glasses?
No, dude, look at this.
Oh.
He's like he's looking at the posters. I love it. I figured you had an actual list. You're just reading off posters.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Work smarter, not harder, guys.
Hey.
Yeah.
And then his number 1, which I actually truly really like this movie. I didn't even know that. I didn't realize that he was the one that did it. Sin City.
Oh,
that is such a wild movie.
yeah. Did you say was El Mariachi on that one at all?
Not in the top 10. No.
Wow.
If
Okay.
you noticed, Machete wasn't even in the top 10.
That's not surprising.
Mm.
Oh
Mm.
man. Well, you had Desperado, which I think is loosely a sequel to El Mariachi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once Upon
All
a
right,
Time in
so
Mexico. Yeah.
that was it for
Mm.
his top 10. But I mean, he definitely has done a lot of works. El Mariachi, since you asked, it looks to be, I don't know, maybe top 20.
I would have.
Yeah.
He's done a lot. I'm looking through some of these, and I'm actually surprised of the stuff. I'm like, oh shit, that's him. I need to see this.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe, yes, she is. Jessica Alba in Sin City as well.
Mm.
She's also in, I think, Spy Kids 4.
I haven't seen any of the Spy Kids. I checked out on that one.
She is in Spy
Oh
Kids
man, the
4.
first one's so good.
The first three, I think I've seen the fourth one kind of in passing. They're fun. It's the campiness, right? Like they're just ridiculous. Made me want to be a spy kid though. Like that was, give me the gadgets. Hell yeah.
I remember seeing the first Spy Kids in theaters when I was a kid.
I don't remember seeing them in theaters other than the third one because it was in 3D, and I'm not gonna bother getting like 3D glasses and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll go watch it. I'll watch it in theaters in the 3D. And oh god, it was during that era of just like the cheesy 3D.
Like the paper, like bendy glasses. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it felt like, but it was always just like the thing that was coming out at you. It was like being on a 4D ride at like Universal or Disney, which was like, "Arr," like just
Yeah.
it's 3D, so we have to actively have something come at you. But when you watch it in 2D, any other time, it's like, well, that was a weird motion. It's like, yeah, that was in 3D. It came out at you. Like,
Yeah.
so stuff that doesn't make sense when you watch it in 2D. Either way, he's got some good ones.
And time. Go, Brian.
All right, the cast. Oh boy. I mean, the names that I'm about to say are just insane. We'll start with Machete himself, is played by Danny Trejo.
Woo!
Anyone got any? Do we want to do a Danny Trejo moment?
No, I love Danny Trejo as like a human being.
Okay.
He's just he seems like a really fun guy. He's got a hell of a history and just great. He seems like a great guy.
But my nana was just saying earlier, 'cause I was talking to her about this movie. She's like, he's so mean looking, but I bet he's really nice in real life.
Yeah.
So I hope that's true.
I think so. Like he was in jail. So like in the past he was a criminal, but I remember seeing something where he likes to play like he likes to play a bad guy but he almost always wants to, like, if he plays a bad guy, he almost wants to die or fail or lose. Like it's kind of like that whole bad guys don't win. And it's kind of
I like that.
Yeah. So like, and I mean, when you look at him in this movie where he's a cop, it's like, yeah, he's the best cop. Like he is, when he's a good guy, he's the best good guy he could be.
Right.
He has high morals and all that and great ethics. So it's like, I think some of the things that he's kind of grown into in his life, it's like it bleeds over into the characters that he chooses and stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's probably a great guy.
All right, then you've got Michelle Rodriguez, who plays Luz. You've got Jessica Alba, who plays Sartana. Robert De Niro, who plays Senator John McLaughlin. Steven Seagal, who plays Rogelio. Cheech Marin is Padre. Lindsay Lohan is April. I cannot believe the names that I'm listing right now, guys.
On a 2.5 movie.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Does anyone have a particular character or actor that they also want to mention? Because I would say that's your top. That's your top cast right there.
Well, who's the kid that plays the wannabe Gringo or whatever. What's his? The kid from Spy Kids. What's his name? Like Darian Saber. What's his name?
The character's name. Let me look it up.
The actor's name.
Oh,
It's like
Daryl Sabara.
Daryl Sabara.
I only know him as Junie, and that's like the worst part.
Yeah.
Oh, his play Julio.
Yes,
Julio.
he's Junie. He's Junie. Sorry, he will forever be Junie. Except for the episode of Friends where he's the adopted kid.
I think he was Jonah Hill's inspiration for 22 Jump Street.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. No.
I could totally see
Yes,
that.
you have.
22 Jump Street?
Yeah,
you say you
told us
watched
that
it?
You watched it.
No, I watched 21 Jump. 22 is when they go to college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
My name is Jeff. You did not watch that?
That's the first one. That's
That's the
21 Jump Street.
That's the second one.
Second.
Yes.
100% the second.
What?
He's wearing the outfit that I'm referring to right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. 20. Sorry, I got my 21s and 22s mixed up.
You've seen them both.
Yes.
You can't tell them apart. But
They
you've
were
seen them
referencing
both.
a different movie. Go on.
Yes, I'm with you, Brian. His look,
Thank you.
attitude, everything.
I thought that was a good joke.
It's straight up on this guy.
Yeah. Anyone else got? I mean, any shout outs that they want to do, performance wise? Anything?
I'm jumping ahead slightly with this one where it's I know the name probably more than I really know the actor, but Don Johnson, and he plays the God, what was his name? It was
Vaughn Jackson.
Yeah, Vaughn.
Yeah.
But the main reason, like he's a hateable character. He's awful. But the reason I bring him up, it is for that the credit scene where it says introducing Don Johnson. That made me laugh. Like that was hilarious. I'm like, introducing Don Johnson? You mean the guy who's been around for decades acting and has been in so many.
Wasn't he in Lost?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah.
He's been in so much. He's been acting since what, like the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Introducing actor
Yeah.
debut.
I will say his performance was outstanding, and the voice that he brought to the character I thought was really, really cool too.
He was definitely
Like that deep raspy. I don't know how he was doing it.
he makes a great bad guy.
Yeah.
He kind of reminded me of Gavin Newsom a little bit.
Okay.
Like with the glasses and like I don't know. He just looked like him.
Got politics on the brain now.
I don't know.
I may have aged him a little too far too. He was 70s, but this is the big one that I just saw him in. Brian, you may be kicking yourself for not recognizing him. He's in 10 Cup.
So it was Cheech, but
He's the other golfer, I believe, that's like constantly challenging 10 Cup. So remember when he says the longest drive or whatever, and then he hits it down the road?
when he grabs the 7-iron and he just hits it down the road
Something like that.
and he goes, it keeps going.
Just keeps keeping going, keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
That
him.
guy is Don. That's Don Johnson.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say Cheech was his caddy.
Yes. So they knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple carryovers.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Like I said, I probably know the name more than I know the actor. I'm looking through his stuff. I'm like, oh shit, he's in that. Oh shit, he's in that. But yeah, Don Johnson.
Yeah, and Steven Seagal, Robert De Niro. I don't know what the hell you're doing in these movies, but I mean Seagal, I can make a case for. I can make a case for it.
I was
He's done those campy movies for sure.
I was pretty impressed with his accent throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Like, am I not?
Yeah.
Is he not like a heavily Italian man?
I believe so, correct.
So
I don't know what I don't know his true ethnicity, but yeah.
Either way,
All I know is I agree. He was carrying he was carrying his accent pretty smoothly in this one, compared to like other movies that you see him in. You're like, oh yeah, there's no accent.
yeah. Let's see the Mexican accent, the Spanish. It was like this is pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So our ratings, looks like we're gonna be giving this one a 3.55 out of 5 stars.
Mm.
And then I gotta pull up.
Sorry, Nick, not number one this week.
I
Yeah,
know. I was gonna
definitely
say,
not number
in
one.
top charts.
Definitely not number one.
I think it bottom of the
IMDb
charts
gives
though.
it 6.6 out of 10. Letterbox gives it 3.1 out of 5. And there was no Roger Ebert review, which I really would have been interested to read.
Is this our worst one? Our worst movie?
Of the year?
Yeah.
God, we've seen so many movies. I
It
can't
is
remember.
not.
It's not.
It is not.
Mm.
Worst movie of the year coming in at 3.27 is Amber Alert.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Who
So-
tanked that one?
Jen.
She tanked her
Like,
own
she
movie.
picked it and she tanked
Yeah,
it.
she
You know, I do respect that about her.
2 out of 5-star review from Jen.
She's not afraid to be honest, even when it's her
Mhm.
pick. I appreciate
Yep.
that.
The budget was 10.5 million and worldwide gross is 44.5 million.
All right.
I wonder how much of that
There are
went
no
to
Golden
explosions.
Globes and no Oscars to discuss. Honestly, there are really no awards to discuss. Oh, except for the Razzies did come back. That's right.
Yes, bring him on.
I do remember that. Let me pull it up real quick. I think it was just one nominee.
We gotta shout out the Razzies every once in a while.
Well, this
Yep,
is,
the Razzies are back. So
I was
it
gonna
was.
say,
Oh,
this
I'm
is the
sorry.
kind
it
of
wasn't
movie
a
that
nominee,
you would
it was a
hope
win.
sweeps the,
That was a
the
win.
Razzies.
Matt, what were you saying? I talked completely over you.
I'm just saying, this is the kind of movie that you would think or is like made to sweep the Razzies.
Yeah.
No, but it did win a Razzie
I mean, that's a good thing.
for worst supporting actress.
Oh.
Who wants to take the pick?
Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Alba.
See, I wasn't gonna
Miss
go
Jessica
with her.
Alba.
It's Jessica Alba.
Oh.
Jessica Alba.
Come on, you know they're not going to do that to Rodriguez.
And she was great. Not that Jessica Alba was bad or anything, but I don't know. I feel like of the three that we've mentioned,
Mhm.
her character was easy to dislike.
Who?
Jessica Alba's.
Oh, Jessica Alba.
Yeah, like the
What was
character.
her name? Sarantino?
I'm sorry. The
Sartana?
whole romance between her and Machete is Razzie Award right there.
It had its
Which
moments.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it had its moments.
All right, cruising through here. Rodriguez told Danny Trejo about the movie, and he became obsessed with it. So much that he would call, Danny would call Rodriguez every day, multiple times, all that stuff. Up until the point where he finally asked Danny why he can't just send a text message. To which Danny replied, "Machete don't text."
Machete don't text.
Which obviously becomes a very important line in the movie.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo describes his character as the kind of guy that if somebody goes out of town, he would water their flowers. But if somebody breaks into their house, he'd kill them. I also question if that's how you could describe Trejo himself. Like, if someone went out of town, I can see Danny Trejo just being, going over there, watering the flowers, taking care of the pets and all that. You break into his house, you're gonna have some problems, I bet.
That's such a good visual.
Yeah. Which one? Danny Trejo watering flowers?
Well, just like he has like the watering can, it's like sprinkling out, and then he's got a like a machete in the other hand. You know, if somebody breaks in, he's like shink. Love it.
This was Steven Seagal's first full villain role,
Mm.
to where he was like the lead villain. I didn't realize that, because you think of, well, I guess he's mostly kind of the hero.
I think that within the facts and everything too, like it talks about how he plays like an anti-hero a lot, which basically means he's a good guy who kills people.
Yeah. And actually, well, I'll pick it back to that. And then lastly, this was Danny's first leading role in a movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So everyone's doing a little bit of different things going on there.
Mm.
I hope they give him
I
more
did wanna
lines in the
talk-
sequels.
What?
I hope they give him more lines in the sequels.
Mm.
So yeah, we haven't done a movie with Seagal, have we?
No.
Man, you talk about someone that's done a lot of movies. I'm looking at his stats right now. I can't tell how many. Wait, does it tell me how many he's done?
I can see.
81. He's been an actor in 81 films.
Is he mostly an action guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't really know too much of his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, his top 10. Once again, I gotta take a look at it up close. So his top 10, Exit Wounds, On Deadly Ground, Marked for Death. Is that what that is? Yeah, Marked for Death. Out of Justice, or I'm sorry, Out for Justice. My apologies. Above the Law, Hard to Kill. I mean, these names just.
I haven't heard any of these before.
Under Siege 2. Executive Decision. Number 2 is Under Siege, and number 1 is Machete.
Number
Yeah.
one?
Number 1, which I don't know. I don't buy it. I think Under Siege is probably his number 1. He's you know how you just asked like if he's action.
Mhm.
He was the type of actor where it would always start off as, this is a perfect example. Steven Seagal is out for justice. It's always like that's how like the trailer would go, and that's like the name drop that he would be and everything. So
But like that in itself is a campy thing.
it's so
Yeah.
campy.
Yeah.
It's so campy when you go like the actor's name is, and then the title drop,
Is,
you're
yeah.
like, I know exactly what I'm about to get in.
It's so pretentious.
Well, when you watch his movies too, like the persona that every one of his characters has, it can be defined as like nonchalant.
Mm.
He's not worried about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
In Under
like,
Siege,
what's
he's like a
that?
chef.
Oh my god! It's the boat's got a billion explosives on it, and it's time to go off in 10 seconds unless you kill this guy. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
And just casually strolls and then, murders the guy. It's like, great, save the boat. Like that's his level of worry in every movie. He's just so chill. Every
That says a
fight,
lot.
he's just super
And-
confident. Like
He's a great martial artist.
he's a
Okay.
martial artist.
Matt's like, drop the grate.
No, great.
I mean, I haven't been overly impressed by his martial arts.
All right, fine.
I'm not.
I mean, you saw the way he's wielding it. Come on.
I'm not saying he doesn't have skills, but I'm also saying like if I were to put the talents of Jackie Chan's martial arts versus
Okay, I'll give you that.
Or
Or Bruce
I keep
Lee.
doing this. I keep going. Jason Seagal. It's Steven Seagal, not
Steven
Jason.
I know. I keep
I
said
keep
Jason
wanting
Segel
to say
earlier,
Jason
too.
Seagal, and it's killing me. Steven Seagal. Like if I were to compare those, it's like that to me. That's like a true master of martial arts versus a guy who's trained for a long time at martial arts.
Yeah. I could buy it because I guess Bruce Lee too.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a difference. Even like what Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Right.
I mean, when you see him doing martial arts and stuff, it's like that's a guy who's like, holy shit.
Yeah. All right, you changed my mind. He's good at martial arts.
He's
What about
a martial
Keanu
artist.
Reeves? Like Keanu Reeves is a great. He does martial arts too, right?
Because he is not like Steven Seagal has like dedicated himself to martial arts versus Keanu Reeves, who has studied martial arts and has mastered certain fighting skills. It was like I'm
like 4 movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, Keanu Reeves is the type of guy who would train for months on how to hold a gun, physically fight hand-to-hand combat. Like he is that guy. I'm like, he masters that stuff, but he's not dedicating his life to it.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Seagal is a guy who was like, yes, I am a martial artist, whatever. I don't know what his martial arts is, but he has dedicated himself to that, where like that is a part of him, is the martial art.
Yeah, I get that.
So, yes, I think Keanu Reeves is a great fighter, but I can't say he's a great martial artist.
That's there wasn't a ton on the internet on Machete. So does anyone have anything that I didn't mention? You guys already talked about the fake trailer and how that was it just all was a spoof, and then people are like, no, we need this movie, and did we?
The fans were like, make this movie, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we already discussed that. Did anyone else have any facts that they know about that it wasn't brought up?
Because I read through the trivia on IMDb. I'm trying to remember if there was anything important. Like I said, weirdly enough, there was a lot of information about the nudity, where like a body double was used for Lindsay Lohan's nude scenes.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Jessica Alba wore like a nude.
Oh,
bikini.
she had a no nudity clause in her contract.
Yeah, so she wore like a nude bikini or something that they digitally altered. Of course, having watched it on Hulu, it's like no idea what you're talking about. Didn't see anything. So yeah, like I said, that's kind of like the gist of the stuff that I really remember that you didn't bring up. I was gonna wait because we're talking about Steven Seagal, and I just kind of want to get it off my chest now versus when we get to it. His end. If I'm not mistaken, Steven Seagal has had it within his contract that he is not allowed to lose a fight. Like watch any Steven Seagal movie, any fight he's ever in, he will not lose the fight.
I've heard that too.
So I believe that probably stood for this movie, and it kind of leads to what I feel is a weak ending for him. We'll get into it when we get into the scene, but I think that is the reason that his fight with Machete ends the way that it does. And to me, I'm like, it's kind of a letdown. It's weak. It's just kind of like this is supposed to be an epic battle between this major Mexican drug lord who has been terrorizing Machete and his family for years now, decades even. Like this should have been. It should have been better. It should have been bigger. And it just kind of ends on I quit. Like that's, So it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm going to do my best not to shit on Steven Seagal throughout this movie, because I do think he did a good job, but that ending really left a bad taste in my mouth for him. So
I didn't know about that contract thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense now.
Right.
100%. I just had no idea. Yeah.
It's like I said, we'll get into it when we get into the scene, but like that was just one thing that, like, bringing up what I believe is in his contract. It's just one of those things. and it's I get it. You don't want to lose, but come on, man.
It's like he just
Sometimes you
he
gotta
just
take an
seppuku'd
L.
himself.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta take an L. Like it's not a put your ego aside and take the L.
Yeah,
It's not about
exactly.
you. It's about the movie.
It's about the movie.
About the movie.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I don't think I have any other facts or anything. So if we want to take a quick break, everybody get some food and come back. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
Sounds
We will take a
good.
sounds good. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. How's that laundry going, Nick?
It's going good. I'm also doing my sheets at the same time.
Oh, nice. I didn't want to say anything, but I did notice that your bed was bare.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a bare bed.
Ooh, that's yummy. Jamie's watching I Love Lucy right now. I can just hear the crowd just going nuts. Just I don't really know what's happening. Apparently, it's the episode where I think Lucy and Ethel are working at the chocolate factory.
I haven't seen any I Love Lucy.
It's freaking hilarious. Like
I've heard. Yeah, my dad talks about it all the time.
no, it's so good. We've watched a good amount of it from the beginning. She's obviously seen a ton of times, so she's gone through a bunch. So it's first watch for me on a lot of these episodes. But what I've been so impressed by is they do a lot of the tropes that you know from TV. Like you're just like, okay, I know how this is gonna go, right? You would think, because they do all of the same tropes, yet somehow they manage to do it in a different way. And like this is the original, like before the tropes were tropes, they're doing these things, and
Yeah.
it's so freaking good that like while I think I can predict what's gonna happen or assume what's gonna happen, I'm still wrong. It's that good. It is that good. And I'm laughing my ass off. Plus the physical comedy of it is really impressive. I mean, Lucy herself is just impressive.
Yeah, I've always heard I Love Lucy as being like a pioneer to just end everything in entertainment.
She's
Like not just TV
fantastic.
shows and movies, but like talk show, like everything.
Yeah.
Comedy. It wasn't that the show also that invented the three camera system or the three lighting system?
I could not tell you, but I could believe it.
It was the cameras. They invented the like being on a stage, on a sound stage, and then having three cameras. Like one camera that does the overall shot, and then two cameras that do close ups on like two characters or something like that. Oh man, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna look it up.
I could believe it because they definitely have like good shots that they do, and it doesn't feel like it's coming from separate takes. So I don't know. It's great. The funniest though is if you've ever seen the lost pilot of it. Oh my god. The episode itself is hilarious, but the set is so bad. The apartment that they have, the walls, it's like it's on what I would consider like a high school stage. It's flats. It's paper and wood, and they're going through these doors. Like it's definitely low quality, but
Yeah.
it's what I would probably assume you could afford from a self-produced pilot episode. But it's so
Well, not even just that, but like back then,
I mean, the sets after that episode, it's fantastic. It's great. Like it looks like a house. That episode was just rough. Like they didn't have any actual windows, but it's just like the painting of the outside of a skyline that is the back wall. Yeah. It's a little funny to look at, especially when you're like, oh my god. Like you and I think would be picking out a lot of the stuff, but
would see that.
it's
You know what you just reminded me of? I learned something the other day that kind of ruined Modern Family for me a little bit. Because I wanted to find out where if the three houses were real houses, like if they were real exterior locations, and they are real houses. I looked up all three of them on like Google Street View. And the Dunphy house is blurred out, but Mitch and Cam's house is not blurred out, and Gloria and Jay's house is not blurred out. I was like, okay, because there's a lot of scenes in that show where they do film the outside of the house. Like they have scenes where they go to the actual location to film, you know, like stuff in the front yard or the driveway and street or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's even some of those scenes where you see them like going in and out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next cut is to them inside of the house. And I was thinking, well, do they actually film inside of these houses? And so I looked it up, and the internet says that all interior shots of all the houses are on a soundstage. And I was like, well, but the windows, like, they look like they're outside. Like, you see plants, you see trees, you see like the front of the house, and like you see the sun like coming through, and I'm like, is this illusion being ruined that all of that is inside of this like big old warehouse and not actually on site of the houses? It's crazy to me because it looks so good, you know, in all of the houses. And I realized it too. It hit me because I was like, man, like every time they're filming the show, the lighting, like the sun is always in the same position.
Yeah.
Like, it's always coming through the window at the exact same angle. So
You can control it.
you were talking about the painting and of the sky and I Love Lucy just reminded me of that.
Yeah. A weird one for me when I found it out was Home Alone, where it's same kind of thing. Like the McAllister house, it's just the outside of it. If you watch, I think it's on Netflix, the Movies That Made Us docuseries.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Watching that one, it's crazy because at a certain point they have kind of like an overhead sort of look, not like a bird's eye view, but like above the soundstage kind of a thing look, and you can see the maze of the house with like no actual roof or ceiling or anything. And like,
wow,
holy shit! Like you can see the house set. And like same kind of thing, like you're saying, where it's got the windows and stuff and all that. Like it's crazy what they do when they have that level of control, but it's nuts.
Like that is actual movie magic. Like
Yeah,
that's movie magic right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Blew my
which,
mind.
by the way,
when
I saw
it.
that house is for sale.
I would never want to own a house that's in a movie or a show. Like if I'm not mistaken, the house from Breaking Bad, it deals with people throwing a pizza on the roof like every day.
Yeah, which by the way, that house is I heard recently is actually becoming for sale too.
So I'm saying I would not want to own the house from any sort of thing unless you're ready to just embrace that.
Yeah, apparently they're listing it for like $3 million or something like that. But when the actual value, like based on the neighborhood of that house, it's like 400,000. But I watched an interview of the people that actually live in that Breaking Bad house, and they said that, you know, they welcomed the tourism. Like they welcomed like people like coming to the sidewalk and like taking pictures or whatever. But they said that they got a package, like hand delivered by a person to their front door, that was addressed to, what's Bryan Cranston's character's name?
Walter White.
Walter White. It was like addressed to Walter White, and then the homeowners were like, all right, this is too close. This is too close to our safety. So then they had to put up like iron fences and security cameras and stuff. And so, yeah, I get why you would say you would never want to own one of those houses.
Never.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like when you're like, hey, we love your house, we want to put it in a TV show, like you're never expecting it to go that big and people literally fall in love with this show, and now it's an iconic house.
Well, if you tell me who's in it, I might make it. Like if they were saying like, oh yeah, Bryan Cranston's gonna be the star of the show, I'd be like, oh, yes.
See, but at that
I'll bake
point,
you guys cookies.
At that point, Bryan Cranston was not Bryan Cranston. Like he's been in tons of stuff, and like he was Malcolm in the Middle and everything, right? Like he's definitely been a name, but Walter White, that's what that's what made Bryan Cranston like the it guy of like, oh my God, he's an incredible actor. He's not just this goofball. We got to put him in things. We got to put him in things.
Like when he was Hal in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like his kind of big thing before that.
Mm-hmm.
He was also How I Met Your Mother.
Yes, again, that's after Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Ted's boss.
It's oh God, what was his name? Because Saul's in it too, is Marshall's boss.
Yeah, Saul is
Artillery Arthur, yeah.
Artillery Arthur, yeah. And was it Mr. Hammond?
Hammond Druthers.
Hammond Drudder, yeah.
Hammond Druthers. Because the business is called like Druthers and something. Yeah.
I just remember thinking Hammond was such an interesting name.
Hammond, yeah. Hammond.
All right.
I sent you a friend request. Yeah, and I haven't responded. Yeah, what's up with that?
Can I call you Ham for short?
Oh man.
What's up, Ham?
I did like after the whole initial drama of the penis building that he kind of turned into like a funnier character. He wasn't just awful.
Yeah.
He got goofy and fun again, but oh man.
I think the best interaction between them is when Ted is already a big architect and Hammond is trying to like pilfer him to
Poach him, get him
Chicago or something.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
that's where that comes from.
and he's like,
I sent you a friend request.
this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you say no, that's gonna be it forever. And he's like, no. And he's like, okay, offer's always on the table. Call me sometime.
Yeah.
He'll call. I know he'll call.
Yeah. I love when they bring. Oh my God, I keep doing dumb stuff. I love when they bring in the penis tower model. it's like draped and it's like clearly you can tell what it is.
Yep.
Well, and the guy's reaction is the best when they unveil it and it's like, that's a penis. What?
Like, be a little more coy, bro.
So I'm hearing you need less trees.
It makes the building stand taller.
I did love that without ever showing us the building, we knew exactly what it looked like, and all the jokes were on point. I'm like, yes, this is great written comedy.
So good.
Okay. Before we just completely detract into How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah,
let's get back to it. All right.
What?
So let's get back to it.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas. Can you take our critiques? Let's find out as we dive into Machete. And what better place to start than the very beginning? A very good place to start. I enjoyed this intro. It's wild, it's insane, and it tells you exactly what movie you're about to watch. Again, my impression of Machete. I'm going to change up my pronunciation.
Say Machete.
Machete. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to pronounce it a billion different ways tonight. Let's get used to it. But this is kind of, I mentioned it earlier of like how he doesn't have a whole lot of lines. He's very stoic. He's just kind of like, and the intro scene is really funny to me that he says next to nothing. You've got his partners next to him who's doing all of the talking. And because he's not saying anything, he's answering his own questions, or he's bringing up another thing, he's bringing up another thing, he's bringing up another thing. I thought it was funny. Like, I liked the bit of it all, and I thought it was good. And then the action starts, and shit hits the fan real quick. Blood's going everywhere. Heads are coming off. Like, it was absolutely insane. I felt terrible for his partner who didn't make it out of the car. And he got bloodied. So it's like, this was a fun intro scene. I love how it sets up a pretty basic story as far as like a cop tries to take down a drug lord, he gets caught, and now we're off to the races. So I don't know. Is there anything specific that you guys want to bring up? There's a lot that went down. It's just it was insane. This was high octane insanity. Go ahead, Nick.
I love the it's weird to say. I love the the killings that happen in the intro. I think the first wow jaw-dropping one was the Machete spin attack that he does, and he just slices off 3 heads in that hallway.
Mhm.
Oh my god! Like I was like, whoa, we're in for a ride.
The bird's eye of that was fantastic.
Yes, the bird's eye view of that. Yeah, it was just so cool. I loved it. Yeah.
That was
That was my most
Taxi
notable.
Driver level of bird's eye. It was great.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
I caught the reference, Matt.
Thank you,
Nice
thank you.
job.
That was for
The
both
only,
of you.
you guys have said everything about it. The only thing that I would add on that kind of threw me for a loop. Normally, when they bring in the wife, there's normally some type of exchange, interaction, stalling for time. The wife maybe escapes and doesn't die or anything. No, this one was instant.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like barely gave him a chance to say goodbye to her or to even say a word, and she's already decapitated. And I was like, well, this is something you don't see. So I thought that was a different twist in things.
Just to feed off of that a little bit, I don't know how you guys felt, but when he found the girl, I was surprised. I don't know why, as I look back on it, but I was surprised that like she turned on him so quickly. Like, he's going there to rescue her.
Oh yeah.
And like, I was buying into the whole like, yeah, she's been drugged up, she's been used as a prostitute, whatever. Like they're using her and just keeping her drugged up. And I'm buying it. Like everything that she's doing, the way she's behaving and everything. And then all of a sudden she just takes that machete off of his hip and just stabs him right in the thigh. I was like, oh, I didn't see that. And then at the same time, when Torres, Seagal's character, when he walks in and he's just like, oh, you took care of it. Bam, right to the head. And now she's done. It's like, oh God, no one's safe. Unless you're Machete, but but yeah, it was kind of shocking with those kind of turns where it sets you up for something that you expect to either be drug out or longer conversation. It's just kind of like, nope, this is a situation. This is who we are to each other. Done. Like I like that it doesn't kind of mince words or drag anything out. It's very much in your face. We're going.
Well, and just to add to more of that too is like this. Some of this stuff is real. Like this happens in real life with drug cartels and like women's head. Like women will just get beheaded, and then they hold the head up and they take a photo and they send it to like their family of like, this is what happens when you don't pay the money or send the bricks of cocaine or whatever. Like it's real stuff. Like it's yeah, it's ballsy to put it in like movie form, But
I don't know. I mean, they were clearly not afraid to behead people in this one.
No.
Yeah.
So I knew that this movie was going to be like high octane. I knew it was going to be intense and gratuitous violence. But I have to admit, I was surprised with the level of blood. Like there was lots of blood in this one. And not that I'm not a big fan of like blood and gore and that kind of stuff. Like to me, it's whatever. Like if you're going to shoot somebody, great, blow them away. They're dead. I don't need to see all the blood everywhere. But it wasn't as off-putting in this movie as I expected it to be. But man, was there a lot of it. And this opening scene, again, like it sets the stage for what you're about to see. So I consider it very successful in that of it sets up the movie and it tells you exactly what's going to go down. The only thing that I was a little bit disappointed in, that opening scene had the like opening sequence, kind of like it's an old western or something. It was very like, is it sepia toned? Like, I mean, the whole movie kind of was, but it had that kind of that, and there was the graininess of.
I think that's Grindhouse's style.
Yeah, but the rest of the movie didn't have it so much. Where
Right.
you're kind of getting the scratchy film, you're getting the what do they call the little spots on reels when I'm trying to remember my Fight Club now.
Cigarette burns.
Yeah. So like it didn't have any of that the rest of the movie, and I kind of liked it. I liked the grittiness that aspect led to, like, was using in this intro scene, and then it rolls credits and it's much crisper, it's much cleaner, it's good video, you know. Not that it wasn't good before, but I liked that filter they had on it. So
they,
I kind
they
of
did the same thing in Planet Terror, like with the fake trailer. They did the whole that look, and then they do the credits, and then kind of go into the like clear picture of the movie.
interesting. So
Yeah.
it must be just the style of it, because with Grindhouse in mind, because I've seen Death Proof, I really loved what Tarantino did with that, where I think he's telling it's like two stories that's about the same guy, but it starts off in black and white, and then it goes into kind of the sepia tone, like that, the graininess and kind of faded look. So within the movie, it's two completely different looks, but it's also two completely different stories in a sense. So
yeah,
it must be where it's just that aesthetic, that visual artistry that they're going for. But Robert Rodriguez is kind of, nope, we're starting off gritty, and now we got good video. Like, but I love that he keeps the color tone.
like the warm kind of
Yeah.
like orangish, yellowish.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is very, very yellow.
Mm.
Very
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Is that a Breaking Bad thing too?
The color of it, yeah. Because a lot of it is like they're in like Texas, Mexico border type things. So
And I bet it makes the
Yeah, but-
blues like really stand out too. Because isn't his meth like blue?
yeah,
Yeah, but the whole show isn't like that. There are scenes where it's like that, but not the whole show.
no, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for this movie, it's like the whole movie is this kind of one palette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do like. I do like it. All right. Unless you guys have anything else to say, do you want to dig into the credits at all? Like I said, the one thing that I really wanted to bring up was the Don Johnson thing that was funny. But anything else? Any intro stuff? I'm seeing
No?
shaking heads. Cool. I think we know what that means. Memories all alone in the. All right. Anybody want to go first? I'm looking. I've already gone. I don't have a lot of notes for this movie, and I've already.
I know I've slim notes as well, but I guess mine would definitely be it's a scene and it's more of like a visualization within the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I've titled this Intestiana Jones.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we all know
Wow.
what I mean.
Wow, that's that is just as ridiculous as this movie, so it's perfect.
I'm
as
blanking
ridiculous
on
as
the
the
scene.
What?
I'm blanking on the scene of like what this is in reference to, because all I
you-
can picture is Indiana Jones with the sack of sand.
Wait, you're actually not joking?
I'm not joking. Like all I can
Think-
picture
Listen
is
to the title.
I know. I don't remember a specific thing with testicles right now.
Not testicles. Intestiana.
Intestines.
Intestines.
Ah. Okay. Okay, that helped. No. Great. Yep.
Yes, Intestiana Jones.
I'm following now. Wow. Like I said, I Intestiana Jones. I'm picturing Indiana Jones at the beginning of Lost Ark, where he's doing the whole like the sack of sand and he's got to replace the idol and everything. And I'm like,
oh yeah, right.
Intestiana.
As if it's like testicles.
Yeah, like I'm like this is not what he's talking about. This is not what he's talking about. Nobody cradles balls in this movie. Like, what is he talking about?
when Machete literally rips open someone's intestine with whatever tool he had, and
The
then
bone
used it
cutter.
as a rope to escape to the second or to the lower floor. I mean, the scene in general is nuts, where he's in the hospital and he makes shifts like basically he's like getting a tour from the doctor saying, "Oh, well, that's don't mess with that. That's gonna cut your finger off, or that's gonna cut through flesh like butter." All that. It's like perfect. That's all I'm
Yeah.
looking for right now. And he like takes the girl's robe,
The belt.
the what?
It was the belt.
Yeah, like the belt of the robe, and then just starts to apply all of his weapons, and then just goes to town on everybody. Only, and then I was like, okay, that's not where I saw this going. And then when he literally guts somebody and then just grabs his intestines and goes, I'm like, and that is definitely not what I thought was gonna happen. So that's the memory of Machete for me, is him using 60 feet of human intestine to get down to the lower floor. Go ahead, Nick.
I have two memories, and that was one of them. I love the dialogue before this scene when the nurses are talking about how, or it's the doctor that says how long the intestines are. I was like, why are they saying this? Like, I'm like, this has to foreshadow something, right? um, so yeah, I love the build up to the actual act of getting the intestines being pulled out. But what was even cool too was um when Machete he's holding on to the intestines and the guy is getting like pulled with him, right? And he jumps out of the window, and then the guy hits like the wall below the window, and then Machete goes like to the floor below and does like your typical like SWAT like kick bust in through the window with the intestines. I was like, I've never seen that ever. It was so cool.
That was a first.
Yeah, that was a first for sure.
Normally it's a fire hose.
Oh yeah.
Almost every time it's a fire hose that they're breaking and pulling and swinging on.
Like from the top of the roof. Like this came off of one of the floors, you know?
Exactly.
And then the other part of that scene too was he created like the knife, that's 5 knife thing, and he's just like swinging that like a, I don't know, like a whip or like a, what's that, like ribbon, like those ribbon things that people, like ribbon dancers use. It's they just spin them around.
I think
I don't know
it's
what
just
they're
called
called,
a ribbon.
a ribbon, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of more like medieval.
Like a lasso?
No, not a lasso.
Like
the
a
spiked
flail?
ball.
Oh yeah, a flail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
remember
I
the
can see
name
that
of
too.
it.
Like it has that weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing those guys just get like fucking like clawed in the face was so fucking brutal.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so brutal. I would not want to go that way.
No.
Um, but yeah, my second memory is I hope Brian you have a title for this scene, but is when Machete is in the back of that police car with the 2 fake cops, and
No title.
and Machete stabs through the seats into the back of the driver. And then what got me laughing so hard, as I'm sure you guys did too, was every time he turns the machete, that he also turn to the right. like he was like cranking up one of those like little dolls that you crank the back of, and then they do the thing. I just thought that was so fun and clever and brutal all at the same time, and that was again another one of those moments that I had just never seen before. So
Yeah.
that sticks to my memories for sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Just on that scene, like I thought it was a lot of fun where the whole buildup, like he's sitting in the back seat quiet, like he always is, and they're way too cocky, they're way too confident, and the one guy in the passenger seat doing the whole like, look at him, he still thinks we're cops. He was like, well, why wouldn't he? We did all of the things that regular cops would do, and like lists off the stuff. He's like, I didn't frisk him. It's like, what? I didn't frisk him. And then like it's just like, you fucked up there, didn't you? I thought the whole setup to everything within that scene was really funny, and I did like I've seen versions of the like using, because what God, even what was this? There was something we just saw, or maybe I watched it, where
I know where you're going with.
somebody's using like it's the
taser
taser.
gun.
Yes, what was it?
Hang on.
Oh, I can see it. It was but it was the taser and using them to like stomp on the gas and was turning the wheel and stuff like. Was it Mother? Was it?
Oh, Con Air. No,
Not Con Air.
There was a taser.
Yeah, they were using a taser to tase the guy.
I almost had it.
Salt. It was Salt.
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 There it is.
Angelina
Yes.
Jolie. Yeah, where she's using
Like
the
it's an
taser.
action, it's an action movie. I know it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen examples where somebody like uses a weapon to take advantage of the person in the driving seat and drive without actually driving. And it's just this one was a really fun one because it's just he sticks a guy with his machete and is just twisting it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I also like that. At least at the start of this movie, it seems difficult for Machete to get away. Like he's kind of surviving, he's getting away, and then they're caught again. He got away, but he gets caught again. Like I love that it's not so easy for him to just walk away, be done, and then kind of plot his revenge. Right up until the end, it kind of seemed like he was going by the seat of his pants and just like coming up with a plan as he goes. And I did like that aspect of it. Like this is a dude who's been out of the game for a while by choice and has now been thrust into it. And he's like, all right, go with the flow. The intestines thing, that was funny as hell too. Like the jumping out the window and just casually swinging a floor down was insane.
How is that not slipping out of his hands? Isn't it like slimy?
He's Machete.
He's probably got the most rough, gritty hands. It's stuck to the intestines.
Bile ain't gonna stop him.
Yeah.
And I did like that it was foreshadowed. I mean, everything. It's kind of one of those things where, as it's happening, you're like, "Oh well, this is gonna come into play," and it's just like, Brian, I think you said it, of like the doctor being like, "Oh, you don't want to use that. That'll cut off fingers. That'll slice through like butter." Oh, you don't want to do that. We call that the bone slicer. You cut open the skull with that. And he's just like, no, don't take that weapon and use it in this way that is super effective and will absolutely murder someone. No, don't do that. Yeah. But the intestines thing was fun too, just because that felt more casual conversation, just weird thing to bring up. It's like, really, guy? Okay.
It's casual, but it's also so specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like you and me just hanging out, drinking a beer, being like, I wonder how long intestines are. Like it would be like a random thing to like look up in Google, but when you're already at a hospital and you're curious about it, it's like something's going on here.
What's your memory, Matt?
I'm trying to think of a good one. You guys said some good ones is the problem.
It can be the same. And then
those were all good ones, but like I'm trying to think of something like, okay. I'm gonna throw this one out there because it's a scene that I liked, and it's also kind of a role that I don't typically see this guy in. So Cheech Marin grabs the double shotguns and his beautiful rampage through the church. I loved watching. Like I still see Cheech as the stoner. Like he's always going to be Cheech and Chong. Like that's going to be the first thing that I think of. But he's done so much, and seeing him in like this kind of action role where he's dual wielding shotguns, and what a badass way to start this scene where he gets the guy down and is like, "Father, have mercy." And he's like, "God has mercy, not me." Like I'm like, all right, badass way to start this scene. And then he just runs around just murking people. And I think the best part of it was when he's hiding behind the big pole, and he just casually kind of like throws the shotguns crisscross and boom, right to the face. I'm like, that was awesome. Like that was just a really cool fight scene. I really enjoyed it, and I really like seeing Cheech in that way. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to keep digging to see if he's done other action movies and stuff. But that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It kind of gave me like Boondock Saints vibes, just being in a church. I don't remember who went up first. It was Brian.
That was me. I mean, you did a great job highlighting the scene, but I just wanted to say I wrote a title, and when I wrote down the title, it was, when I was like, oh, it's now title worthy, was when I saw the double shotgun backwards behind a wall. I was like, that might have been the coolest use of shotgun I've ever seen. Like it was so legit, and like the way that, and they didn't make it seem like it wasn't realistic with the way that the angle was and the way that they were standing. I'm like, no, that's spot on. Like they were definitely in the crosshairs, literally. And I titled this "A True Holy Church."
Oh yeah.
I would have called it In Nomine Patri.
In what?
In Nomine Patri.
Okay.
The name of the Father.
Nice. That's good too. Yeah. But yeah, this is a good scene.
Yeah, I yeah, all good stuff, and even the beginning of this scene where, oh, wait, is it this scene? Is this the scene also where he and Machete are essentially in confession or whatever, and they have like the light of the cross on the sides of their head? Is that not the same scene?
No.
Okay, never
No,
mind.
that's earlier. This one
Machete's not
takes
even
place
in this scene.
Yeah.
It's just Cheech.
Okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Want to jump to scenes?
Yeah, I mean we're out of memories. So this is where we want to focus on our 5, I think.
I'll go first. A scene that just came up to mind was it's towards the beginning when Machete kind of gets called in to do that fight, like that street fight with the group of guys, and like they're putting money in the hat and stuff. That one. Like brutal scene all in all, with the blonde guy who looks like a beefed up Cody. Matt.
Okay.
You just gave me like if Cody was like steampunk and gritty whatever. But the fight with him and Machete was just, man, I could never. Like, first of all, the blonde dude, he breaks his hand. Like you see him break his hand punching that metal pole, and it just like snaps and like blood comes out. The whole and the best part is the whole time Machete is holding a taco like in one hand, and he's fighting with just one arm. I'm like, this dude is badass. He can eat a taco and throw some hands.
He didn't throw a single punch.
Yeah.
Did he not?
No,
he threw
he
no
dodged
punches.
everything.
He just dodged. You're right.
And just dodged.
I thought
ate
he
his
threw in
taco.
just one single one at one point.
No.
But wow.
No.
Not one punch.
He didn't throw a single punch. And it's like, dude, if you're throwing punches like crazy, you might want to check your surroundings because you're facing that pole.
Yeah.
What are you doing throwing the punch?
I think the big lesson to learn from that fight is do not throw nothing but haymakers. It will not go your way.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I do love how they just had Machete just chowing down on a taco. Like, I mean, I'm gonna get money, but I'm also not gonna lose my lunch because of it.
Yeah.
Machete doesn't eat cold food.
I did love how zen he was about it too. Just, I mean, they called him. Hey, you want the fight? $500? You're going to turn down $500? I was like, okay, I'll take your $500.
And even after he leaves and walks away from the fight, as he's walking away, he doesn't even look at the hat. He just like stuffs his hand and just takes a a wad of cash. He doesn't like make sure he got it all.
Not that important to him.
Yeah. It was the principle. Yeah. I just thought that was a cool scene to bring up.
Okay. I've got a question. Is Luz his daughter?
She was the taco truck girl,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Whose daughter?
Machete's.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There was a sex scene between them that, well, you could tell that there was gonna be sex.
Yes. And that's kind of my question is like, there was a lot of stuff that's kind of leading to or alluding to the fact, because they bring up his daughter right at the beginning, and then it just kind of left. Like, what happened to her? Where did she go? Where is she? And he's looking at like her history. He's seeing all the stuff that she did. Like, oh, you're a fighter. You're blah blah blah. Like it, like kind of like there's pride that he's having with this. And I was like, is she your daughter? Is that what's happening here? Like, is that who she is? And then the mounting thing happened, and I was like, okay, well, one, that seemed random and out of character, but sure. Like, this has gotten a little strange for me. Go ahead, Brian.
This brings me right into one of my nitpicks, so I'm just gonna say it right here. At times, multiple times throughout this movie, by the way, this movie felt like a low budget porno.
A little bit.
The music that was being dropped, the random, like you have like a scene and then all of a sudden it just turned into, well, now it's on type. I'm like, where, how, and when? Like, what? I don't know. It just felt so porno to me. But like crazy low budget. And it was just, yeah, it really took you out of the movie real quick.
Well, there were some moments where, like, I get, because they've set it up, like with when Lindsay Lohan and her mom are in the pool and they're gonna do their porn thing. Like,
okay,
you kind of set that up. Like, I was okay, yeah, I saw that coming,
of course.
But this moment with Luz, where it's like they're having the conversation, she's healing him up and everything, and then like the scene was done, and then it's like, no wait, and then mount. It's like, where did that come from?
Right.
Nothing set that up. It was out of nowhere.
Or in the beginning with the girl that he rescues, all of a sudden she just like comes in and is like, is that a what? I forgot what she says, but is it sharp or?
Which it starts off with like it's hard. And
yeah, I'm like, what fucking dialogue is this?
Again, that's a moment where it's like, okay, I kind of expect something like that because she's what I would assume being drugged and again being used as a prostitute. Like, I can see that dialogue, I can see that happening in the situation, but I feel to me the Luz one is probably the biggest example of like this is not working for me. But I agree. To call on to another one where apparently he doesn't have sex with her is with Sartana. And so this is actually when I wrote down a thing where it was like Machete equals Mexican James Bond, apparently.
Yes.
Like that was the vibe that I was getting in that moment. And then like they wake up the next day and she does the whole like checking, blah, 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 and she's like, oh, a perfect gentleman. And then she snuggles up with him and was like, okay, well, they didn't have sex, but like, this is just like, I'm not getting the vibes here, ladies. I don't understand.
But even the way Sartana falls on him, I'm like, that looks so cheesy. Like, you don't even look drunk. You just look, it just looked bad.
Yeah.
We were talking about how Jessica Alba got the Razzie, right?
Right.
Like this is why I say like I don't blame Jessica Alba, but like her character is easy to dislike. She's an ICE agent, so like right off the bat, it's like, oh, we're Team Mexico, and you're the one who's helping deport everyone back. Like, not cool. And then she's just kind of like cocky and a little bit shitty when she's talking with Luz the first time, and like she's giving her problems. and then you have this moment, right, where it's her getting drunk and having the conversation with Machete. Like it's just, I don't like you right now. I just don't like your character.
I feel like that scene was like 3 seconds away, her falling over or like falling down, and Machete grabbing her like full frontal to catch her type thing, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm not that type of girl."
Yeah.
But
you know,
thank you for saving me.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
bad.
I'm a little. I guess I am a little surprised that it wasn't one of those scenes where it's like, you know, she's so drunk. It's like, can you help me get undressed? And like she goes to take her shirt off, and she falls on him, and like like you said, catches like. It could have been that bad. It could have been.
This
that
is not
bad.
this is not a Leslie Nielsen movie.
Oh God, that would have been hilarious. I'm picturing like a Naked Gun movie in that moment now, and it's so funny.
Leslie Nielsen is Machete.
Yeah, oh God. Oh, that would be so bad.
That would be pretty bad.
That would be so bad.
Oh my
God,
God.
Leslie Nielsen is Machete. Somebody
Every
needs to
time they
AI
say his
that
name,
right
he just
now.
says like, "God bless you."
Dear God.
All right, I got a head scratcher for us.
Yeah.
Woo. All right.
$150,000 to kill a U.S. senator.
What's the head scratcher there?
Did it seem like that alone to me was a head scratcher? But I'll add another one. Did that seemed way too low for me? Like I like 150, and you want me to go after a U.S. senator, like a government official? Like I'm already thinking something's off here.
What's your
Red flags
price?
should have jumped.
Okay, Brian, name your price.
Oh, that's a million or above, easy.
Okay.
Easily $1 million to shoot a senator. Okay.
Easily. Like that just seemed like child's. I'm like, Machete, you should have been asking questions right off the bat.
Well, I don't think he's an intellectual, but
He's not
I
an
feel like
idiot.
yeah, he's not an idiot either, but yeah.
Well, here's the way I was thinking about it too. Is like there's a fair argument for that. The American side of it, right? Of like, okay, I'm just hiring some day laborer who $150,000. Like, when's he ever going to see that kind of money, right? Like that's a huge payday. He's just going to love to see that number, and like, great, doesn't have to work as much. Like, I see that side of it. So from Machete's side, I'm with you where he probably knows that's not enough to assassinate somebody. And at the same time, he even says, like, I wasn't actually going to kill him. I was just going to shoot him in the neck to stop him from saying all that stupid shit. So it's like his plan was always to shoot the senator, but not kill him. Because I don't, weirdly enough, this is what's so funny about these kinds of movies. I don't think he's the type of person who would just murder somebody in cold blood. But he murders a lot. He murders a lot of people. However, they're all bad guys, or they attack him first. So like when you really break down that he never just kills anybody. He kills the people who have attacked him or
that is true. He left the security guards alive.
Which that was a whole hilarious bit that like we'll get into later. Yeah. So I to me, I think his thought process was always, I'm going to take this money. I'm giving it to Luz so that she can continue with the network, like help them out. And I'll go do this thing. Like, whatever. Like, I shot him. Oh, he didn't die.
I could see that.
It's like,
at least counter it. Like, do something.
He got a free machete out of it.
Yeah.
He's like $151,000. Beat that.
All right.
I've got another scene.
Hit it.
When what is Jessica Alba's character's name?
Santana.
Sartana.
No,
Santana is
Yeah, I was like, wait,
amazing.
what?
Sartana.
Sartana.
Jewel Santana.
Imagine
Sar-
if Santana was in this too.
That would have been awesome.
Just playing guitar on the side.
Oh my god! This
Just
would
go
be like
straight Mad
Valentine's Day,
Max
the
with it.
movie.
He's standing on, like, he's strapped to one of the hot rods at the end. And he's just playing his guitar.
Yeah.
How fucking sick would that be? I want that now. Santana on one of the hot rods. That would be so cool.
Oh man. But yeah, so Sartana when she first walks up to Luz at the taco truck,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked this interaction between them. Because for starters, it's two powerful women, right? And they kind of have this back and forth about like they're trying to show off kind of and be a little coy about how powerful they are, and like what they can do and what they have and everything to each other. But moments that I really like specifically are when Sartana, she says snarky stuff like, "Yeah, I like my coffee greasy and dirty," or whatever she says.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Hold the spit.
she asks Luz about, "Oh, you got your papers?" And then Luz like pulls the drawstring over, and then like just lets go without even like looking to see where it went. Like she's got
Yeah.
that shit memorized. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked their interaction together in that scene.
Because I'm curious and kind of want to break down that scene.
Yep.
What do you guys like? How do you feel about it in the sense of what was the intent of it all? Obviously, Sartana has kind of been harassing Luz a little bit. She's trying to find she, and so like
right.
she's been around often enough that Luz recognizes her. She's dealt with her many a time. What was the point of this interaction? Like what,
Intimidation.
Yeah.
but what
I'm
is she
still
trying
watching
to?
you.
But why though? Like,
And then I think it's Luz's reaction is, and I'm here to tell you that I don't care that you're watching me.
but why? But like, why? That's my thing. It's like, I get that she thinks that she's she. What? Why go up just to intimidate? Why go up to like be like, hey, you got my eye on you. Like, yeah, I know you got your
Yeah,
eye
that-
on me.
that
You've
I
been
don't know.
staring at me across the street for 6 months. Like, go away. Leave me alone.
It's a power trip.
I feel like because at this moment in time, Sartana is still like she's the cop. She's the ICE agent, right? Like she's the one that's involved with getting people deported. And she hasn't really rounded the corner yet of I got to be on that side. I need to be on she's side, which is such a weird thing to say. So that's why this moment to me just feels odd. I do like that it's this scene, like you said, these two powerful women who are kind of like it's if it was 2 men, it'd be the dick measuring contest, right? Like
100%.
that's what's happening there, and I did enjoy that. They both played it so well, and I really like Michelle Rodriguez. Has she done much Fast and the Furious at this point? I don't remember when Fast and the Furious started. This is 2010.
Oh, for sure. Fast and Furious came out in 2001. We're
Okay.
9 years into the franchise.
Got it. When did she join? Because she wasn't in the first one, was she?
Yeah,
Was she?
absolutely.
Oh, fantastic.
She was Dom's girl.
She's always been Dom's girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was about this one though. Like because the last couple Fast and Furious that I've seen with her, it's like not honestly just not super impressed by her. Like she's always been kind of intimidating. She's clearly tough and strong and everything. We just wasn't really impressed by like the acting and everything. But I really enjoyed her in this scene where to me she didn't seem like this rough and tumble, I'm gonna drive fast cars and beat the shit out of you kind of vibes. It was just this confident, strong woman. Like she held that confidence without needing to be that over intimidation, And I really liked that about her. I really enjoyed her in that scene doing this thing, because the last thing I've seen her in is in Dungeons and Dragons, where she's a fucking barbarian, and she's fantastic. So I did enjoy that, but the scene just kind of the intent of it. Oh, I don't get it yet.
I think it's maybe just showing us like their first encounter with each other for us. Like you said, she's been watching for 6 months, right? Like they're not strangers to each other, but for us, we're seeing them for the first time.
Got it.
Like just to kind of paint the picture.
Okay.
That's how I interpret that.
That makes sense, like, because it giving us that, showing us that dynamic, and then showing us the change later. That makes sense.
Well, and then it adds to the fact that we know that there's a history there too, right? It's like, oh, okay, now we're seeing it at play.
Okay.
Yeah. Good scene. I really enjoyed that one.
Made me want tacos.
Yeah. Tacos? You want some tacos?
Tacos.
I love the way she says tacos. That's tacos.
So in terms of scenes, just to give you guys a heads up, I only have towards the last scene that I wrote. I didn't write down a lot of scenes, so gonna have Nick, you're gonna have to kind of carry the weight on scene talking, I think.
Okay.
I do have head scratches and nitpicks for you guys all day.
Okay. Yeah, go for it, Matt.
I'll start it with the scene. It's when the senator's PR guy or whatever, the dude who hires Machete to shoot him. There's the random thing where he just he shows up at a house, he knocks and just like starts blasting people. Like,
yeah,
that was okay. That came out of nowhere, but at the same time, it's like I'm not expecting much context for this. Like, the dude is just crazy. He's just shooting people, doing stuff, and he casually finds this girl, drags her out of the house, and he's like, "I told you, if you need anything, you come to me. You come to me." And it's setting up a lot of this dynamic, and then of course there's the big.
Oh well, that was Lindsay's character.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. It sets up that big the dialogue drop right at the end of that scene where she's like, "I'm sorry, Daddy," and it's like, "Oh shit, you're his kid." Okay, like it's already setting up something interesting there. But then there's the scene at the breakfast table or whatever it is when they're eating the tacos, and she's talking about like her followers and stuff, and like
her website.
Yes, and the stuff that they want to see, and it's just the father-daughter relationship is concerning.
Very.
Especially when it leads to where the father is talking about like, oh yeah, he comes here for confession all the time, talking about impure thoughts of his daughter, and it's like, this dude ain't right. This dude's not right, and it makes me wonder what's going on, only because like there's a weird dynamic between the two of them, father and daughter. There's a weird dynamic. And the fact that by the end of it, she's doing the whole, like, the irony of wearing the nun, the habit and shooting everybody. She kills one guy and she shoots everyone else. Like, the way that she goes to defend her father, I'm like, oh, there's something twisted here. Like, it's one of those things where I kind of want to know the history so that I can have the facts, but I don't really want to know.
I'm good.
I don't really want to know.
I'm good.
It's that guy's a villain. Let's leave it at that. He's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Go ahead, Nick.
There it is.
He's a bad man.
That's a lot of bad man in this movie.
Fair.
But he's the baddest of them all. No, I just wanted to kind of add more to that. What was the scene where Lindsay Lohan's character was in the pool nude? Was she with her? Was she with her mom?
Her mom.
That was her mom. Okay,
That was her mom.
So it's like, so Matt, to your point, Like, what is this relationship between the father and daughter? What is the relationship between her and her mom too? Like, it seems like they're just a whole sick twisted family.
They are.
Like no morale. Everything's kind of about money and status and
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
rock and roll. Yeah.
Teenage boys fantasy shit going on here, guys.
Oh my god.
It's
Well, this is
yeah,
like feeding into
it's
the whole
disturbing for sure, but
porno
side
it's
of it,
never
man.
made like to be like a huge plot point. It's just the dynamic of that family.
It's
unnecessary. Just
It
unnecessary.
is so twisted, but like, it does make me kind of laugh at the irony of her being in the habit, right? Like, this is clearly a girl who is not a nun. She
No.
is far from it, and that's the outfit she's left with to kind of take her revenge. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, the irony being too that she kills one guy who she didn't actually kill.
Yeah.
I had a scene, but then I lost it. It was a fight scene.
I've got a nitpick if you want to keep thinking.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Luz survives.
Wait, what? Say it again.
That's my nitpick. The
Luz
fact that
survives.
Luz survives.
She gets shot in the eye and then she comes back.
She took a bullet to the right eye.
Mm.
Let me say this. At the very least, if you don't die, you are not going to just have a patch on your eye and be able to go into battle a couple days or whatever later it is. I mean, very least you're in ICU, but you're right. I don't know. I just don't see a survival rate is like maybe 2%. I'm thinking if even. I just it bugs me because you've done nothing but shown me throughout this entire movie that real death rules apply. If you get hit, if you get nicked, you're gonna bleed a lot. If you get your head cut off, you're dead. No one's coming back. Like, there's no superhero power stuff going on here. Nothing like that. So the fact that you still brought her back, which, I mean, granted, it's a cool return, jumping out of the ambulance and all that stuff, fine, but maybe shoot her somewhere that's not directly right into the eye. That's my opinion. Go ahead, Matt.
The only thing I will disagree on is the whole supernatural of stuff. And the one example in this movie of it is it's from Luz. And it's when she's taking care of Machete and she's got the egg and she's doing like whatever, like, and this, I did write this down as kind of a nitpick and I was just like, what you doing with that egg?
I said, what's up with the egg? So yeah.
And it's just like she's doing this whole thing, and it's like, okay, like, I don't know what's going on there. And she cracks it under the bed, and I'm like, witchcraft. Like, that's where my head went. I was like, obviously it's gonna be witchcraft. And he wakes up the next day, and he's like, oh, I feel great. I'm all good. He looks under the bed, and the egg is fried, and it's like witchcraft. So, to me, that's the literal Easter egg of, like,
Nice.
there's a way of coming back from certain things. Like, there is a supernatural element available in this universe. But I kind of agree with you. Like, I wish there was more.
So after being shot in the eye, what she's rocking with, like a Costco 60-pack, or
I've got my own issues with it. Like, if you're gonna get her into an eye patch, I feel like there's cooler ways of doing it. I mean, hell,
yes.
If take away the bullet, right? Like, make it so it's like, as gruesome as this is gonna be, like, you throw a knife at her and you take that to the eye. It's like, okay, yes, you're probably gonna think you killed her. She took a knife straight to the eye and she's down for the count, right? Like, yep, she's probably dead. I think we can all make that assumption.
Right.
But that's also a wound that it's like, I could believe somebody could come back from this versus a bullet to the eye, especially since like the implication of like it didn't exit the head. So that bullet's either still there or like, it's just, yeah. The only saving grace I will say is that egg and the example of witchcraft. I'll leave it at that.
Far-fetched, my dude.
These are the kind of things where I'm like, the writing isn't just like, it's good, but it's not solid. Like there's little things where it's like, you could have done something a little bit different and it makes this still work.
Yeah.
But it keeps it just as gruesome. I mean, if Vaughn had thrown a knife out of nowhere, like this dude who loves his guns, it would have been like surprising and also holy shit. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to the eye patch bit, but you brought up the egg, and I'm kind of surprised at how you interpreted that, because I saw it as more of like an alarm clock. Because the way that she describes this egg, like she's done this before, right? So she cracks the egg, and she says something about the way that the sun goes through the window and hits the floor underneath the bed, and she's like, "That's when you'll know. That's when you know." And so I got the impression that the sizzling of the egg wakes him up. Like it's time. Like the sun is up. That's when these people were gonna be here. The sizzling is what's gonna wake you up. The sound of it will. Because you see it as Machete is getting up, you see the egg sizzling and being fried. So I don't know. I never got the witchcraft impression. I just thought it was more of like one of those cool things where it's practical, but again, kind of unique to one specific person.
I think it's because before that, she has the egg, and she's holding it, and she's just like circling it around Machete.
I think she was doing that because of his injury. Because remember he had the cuts on his
That's the
forehead?
witchcraft part.
But the actual cool egg rubbing might actually like have some kind of like
I paid attention to this. She never actually touches him with the egg.
It's hovering.
Never touches?
She never touches him with the egg. That's where it's like, this is because at first I was like, okay, sure, maybe like you put ice on someone's head, like an ice pack or frozen vegetables or something, or steak, whatever, right? Like, right? Like that was where my first impression went. But you can clearly see that she's just waving it in front of his face. It never actually touches.
I didn't catch that.
I did miss the dialogue though. I missed the something about the sun cooking the egg and everything too. So like, interesting.
Yeah. I thought she just like had a cold egg and was rubbing around the wound that he had. But if she wasn't touching the face, then that's. I don't know. Maybe
I
that's
tried to
witchcraft.
justify it that way for a second, but I was like, no, she's not touching him.
Yeah. I think that's just another thing about this movie is they have like, what other movie has come up with that egg idea? What other movie has come up with the intestine idea? What other movie has come up with the machete through the back and steering the wheel of the car? Like that's one of my favorite things about this movie is that it just does a good job of creating very unique situations.
Yeah.
Oh, the title you needed. You can call it Machete Kart.
Is it a Mario Kart?
It's a Mario Kart.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. Oh, the scene. I remember the scene I was thinking of earlier.
Yes.
Essentially the assassination, like, of the senator, attempt. Again, nothing political from today, as to why I picked this movie. But it is funny how like history does repeat itself. But did you guys think that Machete was actually going to kill him? And also, did you think that there was going to be a second shooter up on the roof that would betray him?
I kind of assumed he was going to shoot him. I'm not going to say kill him, but I assumed he was going to shoot him. This is one of the tropes that I don't like when they do that. Like, okay, man's on the roof and he's a sniper. It's like, okay, you're aimed at the guy that you're going to shoot. What compels you to look elsewhere through that scope?
Yeah.
You know, like he's got him aimed up and he's like, I'm just going to kind of pan over here and like, oh, look, there's another man with a gun. I know that guy. Wait, is he aiming it at me? Oh shit, he shot me. Like, that's, I don't like that. I wish that there was something more to like cause him to look over there, like maybe like a flash or something, you know, like the light reflecting off of something.
A reflection. Yeah.
Like something to draw his attention. I don't like when somebody just looks through a scope and then all of a sudden they decide to look elsewhere and they line up perfectly with the guy. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been something to get it, especially with how good Machete is. Like, it just get his attention, look over there, and then react. So, but I mean I don't know. God, it really is. It's too close to home relating it to today. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's the very moment when you see the scope pan over, like to the building to the left. I was like, what is the motivation for that? Because I thought the same thing too. I was like, that's very odd, very strange. I would have liked to have seen if Machete had his sniper, with the senator in the crosshairs, and he's about, like, you see a close up of his finger about to, pull the trigger, and then you accidentally do a thumbs up. But instead, like, make the viewer think that Machete is pulling the trigger, but then you see the view of the scope then like kind of like go up and down, like he got kind of like a like in like GoldenEye in N64, like when you die
Right
like
before the blood
kind of go up and down. Yeah. Well, maybe not the blood in the scope, but that perspective of looking up and down. And then we were like, oh shit, what the fuck was that? Like, did somebody shoot him? Did he shoot himself? Like, did the bullet ricochet? Or like, like you then want to question it. But when you kind of just show it to us on a silver platter of exactly what is going to happen, it kind of kills the that suspense of the whole outcome. So I would have liked to have seen Machete go down, and then a close up of the senator, him being shot and everything, and then like maybe somebody in the crowd being like, there's two of them up there, and then like you kind of see the back of the other guy like kind of running away, and then we're like, who is that, and instead we know right away who it is. And it's like, it's just like, it was too on the nose for me. Go ahead, Matt.
The solution that I was thinking that would be good for this, like, it keeps it to where he pans and he sees the guy right before he shoots him. He finds the guy who hired him in the crowd, because I think he shows us that anyway. Like, he sees the guy that hired him in the crowd, and then he goes to the senator or vice versa. I can't remember. But when you get to the guy that hired you in the crowd and he sees him, if he does the whole like looks the opposite way, like he looks to another roof instead of the one that he knows you're on, that's when I would have been like, what the hell is he looking at? It's like that, show him having some sort of strong reaction or looking at something else that's not where I'm supposed to be the guy he hired. Because to me, as the assassin, you hired me to shoot this guy. You're looking at something else. Like, what do you see? And that's when it's revealed that there's another gunman who's aimed at you. That makes it that makes it better for me, and it gives reason for why he would look.
I like that.
Not
nice
just
use of a third party.
Yeah,
like the reveal. Yeah, the reveal of a mystery, right?
Yeah. Well, it gives reason for the reaction, for the look. It's not
100%. you're the one that hired me. You know what roof I'm going to be at. So what the hell are you looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Like then he does the like, like making it kind of
Make it
obvious. Like he's
obvious,
looking at it,
yeah.
like he's looking at a different roof.
Yeah.
I like that.
Whips out binoculars, a telescope.
Now we're getting into Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Leslie Nielsen is the betrayal.
and this is
He's got
another
like
thing.
a monocle.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Another thing that they do in movies that kills me is when they go to like news footage or or like security footage or whatever, and it's clearly shot, or it's the same footage that's from the cinematic camera that's shooting this movie. It's like, I get it, you have the footage, but somebody on their phone, some CCTV camera did not catch this.
Yeah.
Like
100%, yes.
I'm sure that it's costly. I'm sure it's
Not
a
in
pain the ass.
2010 at least.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's something that I don't like, and they do it all of the time.
Yeah.
It's like you needed one more shot. Pick another angle and just put a crappy filter over it. Make it look like shit. Like it does. It just choose another angle. I realize how easy it is to like, oh, we've got this shot, let's just reuse it. But it's like, I just saw that shot. I know that's not from somebody's phone. I know that's not somebody with a camera because it's your camera.
Yeah. I need that 240p video from that BlackBerry,
Seriously, just give me any other angle. Any other angle.
Yeah.
Hell, move it 10 feet to the left. I don't give a shit. Just do a different shot.
Yeah. Also, just real quick, the whole idea of like news reports and movies, they're so funny to me. Like it doesn't matter how serious the subject matter is, it's always so fake looking. Like it never looks like an actual news station. I don't know. That's just my gripe on that. But yeah. Do you guys agree?
Well, yes and no, but that's just because it's too good a quality.
I mean, it depends on the movie.
I feel like it's been done well, but a lot of the times it's like it's so crisp and bright in there, and I'm like, yes, this is a professional business, but they don't always have the best lighting. They don't always have the best resolutions of things. It's like,
yeah,
this could like if you try just a little less, I buy it a lot more. And to me, like that's the problem of like, this is movie quality, right? Like what I'm watching is quality movie making, and you're cutting to something that is TV. It should feel different. Like I think like Batman did a really good job. Like Tim Burton's Batman, a lot of the times when it would cut to TV screens, and I think even like with the Joker, where it was the two newscasters that like no longer wearing makeup or having any kind of cleaning products, and they're looking all rough and stuff. Like to me, it still feels a little fake. But when you throw it onto like a TV and now it's got like graininess to it, it's like, yes, now it feels like a news channel now, because it doesn't look as clean as the movie. It just a little bit lower resolution, a little bit grittier, makes me immerse more into the sense of like, this feels like TV.
Like a realness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in real life, news cameras are not movie quality cameras.
Right.
They're like highly compressed. They skip a lot. They're like 720p video. Yeah.
To me, it's
Anyway.
a visual. It's like it's the quality thing, right? Like that's what pulls me out of the immersion.
Yeah. Real quick though, Matt, this is mainly for you, I guess. I love the trope of anytime somebody turns on the TV, it automatically goes to the beginning of the news story for something.
They're never in the middle.
It's like
of
they didn't have
something.
to like change a channel. They didn't have to like rewind and nothing. They
Mhm.
just turn on the TV and it's like, click, breaking news today. We have. Da, da, da. And it's just like, how did you time that so good? It's one of my favorite tropes.
Brian hitting us
We need,
with the
like, a
warning.
buzzer.
He's got the warning thing going. That's hilarious. All right. Is that our minute warning? Is the caution signs? I like it.
Smart, right?
I like it. It's funny because it's only
Right, you need like a clock, like a
It's
put a
being
clock right here.
very polite, I feel.
it's fine. It's just funny because it's only gonna go up yours.
That's fine.
It's cool. It is a good visual. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Go
to
ahead,
say.
Brian.
Okay. What else? No.
Subject done. I have nothing new.
I mean, I've got a nitpick if you guys want me to go into that.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
I don't have
Aside
scenes.
from us, me either.
I
I
don't
have
have
the ending. Aside from the main actors, okay, the ones that we highlighted at the top of the show, there was some horrible acting going on in this movie. So I'm just like, what is going on right now? I felt like the security or the house security guards weren't that great. I felt like the two whatever. I think you guys said one of them was from Spy Kids. Their acting to me seemed a little forced.
Which
I
sorry,
don't know.
one of the guards.
What?
Oh, the kids.
The kids,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kids. I forgot.
Daryl
Julie-
Sabra.
or Julio.
Julio, yeah. So the other kid is, I believe, Robert Rodriguez's son, and he literally says nothing. He just goes around
Yeah.
drawing the entire time, which I love. Middle of a fight scene, he's just
Yeah,
just
I felt
drawing.
like they were forced. There was really bad acting when whoever part of the network showed up to Luz's house
Mm.
because they thought that she was in her house when it got when it was exploded. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
And then Luz is like, "You didn't think you'd get rid of me that easily." Like I'm just like, I don't know. If it wasn't for these main actors, there would be some shoddy acting going on here. I'm just seeing if it was just me or if you guys tend to agree or disagree. I mean, push back if you want. Go ahead, Nick.
I did notice some scenes where Jessica Alba's acting was like really. It just felt very amateur.
I agree.
Like she would walk and then do this like dramatic pose and then say a line. I'm like, you're not in a play. Like, what are you doing? I don't.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I have a great example.
Okay.
It's when she stands on her car and she's rallying the troops, and she does the whole, "We didn't cross the border crossed us." It's like, okay, you're gonna quote Malcolm X, and that's weak as shit.
So bad.
I had to think about that. I was like, because I was then picturing like a map, and then the Mexico-U.S. border like moving down. Or up, or no, moving up or something, like the actual line, like moving, and then like you're just standing there, and then you see like the border from like 100 feet away, and it just comes, it just like
So-
passes you.
I saw that scene, and the thought process that came to my mind was, and they put you in a superhero movie in the future. That is unbelievable to me.
There was another example with Jessica Alba where I can't remember what she says, but you see it's like a full body shot, and then she just walks and she's on the street, and then she does like one leg out kind of pose and just says like a one-liner. I can't remember what it was.
For the
But yeah,
record,
but
she's already done her
there's-
Marvel movies.
She's done what?
By the time this movie comes out, she's already been in 2 Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, I thought that was after. Wow, that's even more pathetic. Okay.
It's because this movie doesn't feel like it was made in 2010. It feels like it was made in like 1992.
Yeah, that whole scene where she jumps on the car to rally the troops is probably the worst motivation scenes I've seen in my life.
I, I I don't think that Jessica Alba's a bad actress, but I do feel like to me, she never really has like the badass vibes.
No, no,
No.
So like
No.
this whole movie where she's got to be hard, she's got to like all of a sudden be like rally the troops and like the whole war cries and everything. It's just like I'm not getting that from you, like, and she seems too sweet. And when she's doing a lot of stuff, I think like you're saying, like her acting in this, like it's her vibe in this movie does not match the vibe of the other people in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's in a different movie.
I think that's a good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Like give me like Scarlett Johansson or Angelina Jolie or something. Like they can pull off like the badass female vibe for sure.
Well, like,
Angie would be way too old.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think Angelina would be too old.
I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was only like 5 years before that.
this is
But
closer
she was
to
like late
Wanted.
30s, right? Or like early 40s?
I don't know.
This is closer to the time of Wanted. 2008 for Wanted.
But
So-
also, aren't we supposed to believe that there, and maybe the reason why Jessica was cast for this is because she's supposed to be either Mexican or part Mexican as well?
she
Oh, I
actually
don't
is
know.
Hispanic.
Because yeah, I know she's Mexican American,
Yeah.
but I remember her and Luz got into a conversation saying like, "Are you gonna finally be? You're gonna turn against your own or something like that?" Or I forgot what the dialogue was. It was to implicate that there was Mexican in her ethnicity.
Yeah.
One
She's a
that was
traitor.
probably or most likely a choice that the directors made to cast someone like that to like look the role at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this for those who've seen Sin City.
Yeah.
What did you think of her in that? I mean, that whole movie is grit.
I'm trying to remember. No, she wasn't Goldie.
She's Nancy.
She's Nancy.
Like I'm scrolling through her credits and everything right now, and I'm just like,
I would need to see a picture or something to try to like jog memory. It's been a really long time since I've seen Sin City.
I don't know why.
Was
but
that wait? Was Nancy? Was that the storyline with Bruce Willis?
possibly all I can remember is her and Chaps. Yes. Yes, her and Bruce Willis.
It's her and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does this help?
Right. It was like a sexy cowgirl type thing, right?
I think she's a stripper. I don't know. I don't remember Sin City.
Yeah. I don't remember the performance, unfortunately.
Okay. But well then let's use that as an example anyway. You're not remembering her performance. I assume that she wasn't that much of a badass. Like she didn't leave that big of a mark in this movie. And sure, if she's in the segment with Bruce Willis, he's going to have the grit. He's going to have the intensity. And she's just the damsel in distress is the kind of vibe I get.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't see her as gritty. And Michelle Rodriguez goes from what I would consider just like a badass. Like she's good at being a good person. Like she's running this taco truck and she's not a pushover. She's a good person. And then when she shows up with the eye patch, it's like, oh, she cranked it up a notch and now she's at that badass level. She's intimidating. She's got the grit. never get that. I never get that from Jessica's character.
Right.
God, by the end of it, I'm like, okay, they kept her in heels. They kept her in heels. They put her in stripper heels. Okay. Now she's riding a motorcycle backwards. Like, just, it never really felt like where Luz has control of a situation. She walks into a room and she commands the room.
Yes.
Jessica Alba never does that.
She never has the edge.
She never controls the room.
Yeah, I agree.
She's the beautiful woman who walks into the room, but she's not in control of it.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put that. Because the camera work that's even done for Michelle, is that her name? Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah.
For Luz, like even the camera work is phenomenal. They do a lot of that like low angle, and they show like her whole body and like looking up at her and like and she's looking above the camera, like she has like she sees everything that is in front of her and she's got her eye on all of it. Like in just the camera work alone shows that she's in control.
Yeah. Hell, when they storm to free the senator, like she's surrounded by like 12 dudes and she's the only one talking. She's in complete control. Like I said, she's commanding that room.
Yeah.
And a slight topic change, but yet on the same one, is Jessica Alba in general as a in the position of a federal agent is incredibly hard to believe. I just don't see it. And then on additionally, you're trying to make me think that she and Machete have a romantic relationship together. In what world does Jessica Alba go after Danny Trejo? I mean, come on.
Whoa, don't be hating on my boy.
I got to, dude.
Don't be hating on my boy.
I got him. Danny Trejo is great. I love him to death. He's awesome. He's a very entertaining actor. But these two, I'm supposed to believe, have a romantic vibe together. It really is difficult. I don't buy it. Like, cast as many lines as you want. I'm not going to tug at that bait. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, it's I think Jessica Alba looks the part. Like she looks the part for sure. It is her acting that is not really fitting. But to the whole, I don't think it's romance that you're thinking of. I think it's more lust. Like it's more just physical. I don't want to say attraction, but like it's just physical sexual tension or something along those lines.
I would buy that for Danny Machete to Sartana, but I would not buy it the opposite direction.
Here's my problem with it. There's nothing that sets it up. There's the one night where she's drinking her tequila, she gets drunk, they're getting information, they break into the files and stuff, and he takes her to bed. Lays down with her, he's a perfect gentleman, and she's just in love with him. Like, there's nothing that sets it up. There's nothing that builds. Like, there's no, he saves her. There's just, there's no moment is all I can say is like, there's no moment. All that there is she got drunk. She falls asleep with this rough man in her bed, and he doesn't take advantage of her. I love you. Like that's a weird vibe. So
Super weird.
For me, the biggest problem is they don't do anything to really build or create the love interest. It just happens. And I would even say from Machete's point of view, she's constantly coming to him. Like he's not seeking her out, but he's not going to say no. Would you? I would. But like that's even at the very end, right? Like he's riding out of town. This is, the outlaws heading off into the sunset, and then she steps out of the car, which again, she is an ICE agent, and she steps out of a police car. That doesn't make sense. She doesn't have a police vehicle. She's not a cop. She's also wearing a cop shirt and these crazy stripper boots. Like, okay, well, that
He's
doesn't
wearing
make
basically a stripper
it
outfit.
doesn't
let's
make
be
none
real.
of this makes sense. But she's
No.
just like, it's they have their little conversation, and he's like, I don't need the thing. I'm like, I'm an outlaw, like, you know, the whole vibe. And she's just like, then I'm riding with you, and just kicks her heels over and rides. Like, none of this makes sense. None of
Yeah,
this
it
makes sense.
doesn't.
There's
No.
like that is a man taking advantage, and rightfully so, of a beautiful woman throwing herself at him. Like, sure, but there's nothing that really indicates true romantic feelings,
Mhm.
at least from Machete. So it's like that whole love interest is weird. Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, in the top of the show, I basically gave a Grand Theft Auto reference.
Yeah.
And the more we talk about it, the more it just seems Grand Theft Auto to me. Like, we're over here talking about, like, she's Ice, but all of a sudden she comes in a cop car, she's in a stripper uniform. Like, all this is going on, but the ultimate, and this is, I was thinking it throughout the movie, but when I saw this scene, I was just like, this is it. I can't even get any more Grand Theft than this. It's I titled it Fights, Guns, and Machete. And this is it's the battle scene. But how it starts off is just, I was laughing, but in like the biggest sarcastic laugh, where they're in and they're souping up their rides, and they're getting their machine guns put in and all their weapons and all that. And then they're like, I forgot the corny cheesy line, like it's time to roll out, or whatever Julio says so poorly.
I don't remember that.
And they start rolling out, and green cars and red cars and thumper.
Oh, this, yeah.
And I'm like, this is Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, at its like, thank you for proving my point that you guys did nothing but play PlayStation games as kids, and now you're directing movies, because it was damn ridiculous. And then we actually get into the fight scene, and I mean, there's probably some things to unpack there, but go ahead, Matt.
But can I just say something real quick, Matt? Just
Yeah.
real quick, because Brian mentioned the cars.
Oh, I'm just talking the same thing. Go on.
Oh no, okay, then go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
go ahead.
Okay, Brian, just so you know, it's in Mexican culture, low riding is a pretty popular thing.
Yes.
It's
know.
just part of the theme of the whole movie. It's just part of it. It's you just
Dude, that looked like
It-
what's the exhibit would be like sideline.
Pimp
And
my
would need the
ride.
ride stamped.
the hydraulics and
Passing out my business cards.
it's just part of the fun.
Oh shit. Go ahead.
Okay, so Brian, you brought it, like the quote, the time to roll out. As I read it, I'm like, all I can think is freaking Autobots. Like, Autobots roll out.
Roll
Like,
out.
that's all I can
Oh,
hear.
yeah.
That's
as
a
it-
cool way of saying it, though.
right? But what I did love about this is, like, he's in the middle of this whole thing, and they got that low angle, like I called it the power stance. Like, it was a good shot. Like, it's just the line is a little cheesy. But I really love the shot. I really love the intensity of it. And then the cars literally rolling down the street, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is badass. They've souped up these hot rods and everything. It's looking awesome. These low riders looking good. And then it starts.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you mount guns on a car that bounces? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You don't
Yes.
want to be bouncing when you're freaking shooting at something.
They're just pushing the hydraulic button and fire at the same time.
So freaking hilarious. Now, but as they're going down the street and all this stuff, like, I'm loving the moment. Like, this is also when I wrote down the camp in this movie is amazing. Like,
Oh my
this was
God.
so funny to me. This freaking war ride, like, oh my God, just it's hilarious. But what I love that the bouncing cars did, They took advantage of this. They made a kill. There's a whole point where the dude's laying on the
I do
ground, and then there's the
appreciate
car
that.
like, boom, and just comes down. And I'm like,
Like Donkey Kong Smash.
fucking hilarious. That was so funny. I'm like, how
Yeah.
embarrassing to get killed, like getting crushed by a car.
Yeah, by hydraulics.
He's having, yeah, like just absolutely hilarious. So yes. Insane.
What if they brought like
hilarious.
the Inspector Gadget car,
The Gadget Mobile?
the Gadget Mobile with the hydraulics? He's like talking like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Is that because it was
And
voiced
then-
by Hughley, DL Hughley? Is that what you're saying? Is a black man voice in the car? You got to say this.
I don't remember who
Gotcha,
the voice of
bitch.
it was.
And then we already kind of talked about like Luz coming out of the ambulance and everything. I'm trying to think if there's any other like good moments in that fight.
Well, the machine gun on Machete's motorcycle that he mounts like on the between the handlebars.
yeah.
Somehow
I
flies
thought that was
30
pretty
feet
sick.
in the
So
air.
that's okay. That's the thing. The motorcycle jump.
Hmm.
We talk about pointless shit. This was pointless to me. Why is he going in the air? How is he going in the air? The ground is flat. Where is he going to? I had so many questions. I was like, okay, who wanted a cool motorcycle jump in this fucking movie?
Michael
Because that's
Bay.
the only reason I can think that this is legit.
Michael Bay asked for this.
Yeah,
Explosions and a motorcycle with a machine gun.
They're like, all right, we're gonna put a machine gun on a motorcycle. Not enough. It needs to go airborne. to defy every law of physics and make it happen, please. And not to mention an explosion in the background to just really cheese it up. Go ahead, Nick.
I have a proposition because I know we're probably going to end a little bit soon with this. Can we screen share my screen and play the Machete trailer that's in Planet Terror? Because this might answer some of your questions, Brian. Is that something we could do? Like
I don't think legally we can.
Oh.
Because we're streaming. I mean, like we could do this post stream. I don't think we can legally show like a full trailer. I'd have to look up into those rules because like we might get flagged immediately. And
It's a fake trailer. It's not real. And it's on YouTube, and we're on YouTube, so it's just.
okay. Here's what I will say. If we try it and our stream gets shut down, it's on you guys.
Oh, that's not worth
Okay.
it. That's not worth it. That's not worth it.
Really?
No, I can we can watch it off fair.
Okay, fine, fair. I'll keep it up here.
I would be so sad. Oh my god, if I lost the feed to Machete trailer, I wouldn't be able to look at you guys in the eyes.
Okay. After we're done and Matt, you stop streaming, then I'll screen share this with you guys and we can watch it together. Yeah.
I would love that.
But for
yeah,
you guys
'cause-
at home, just know that we are going to watch this.
Because
You
truth be
should
told,
too.
I'm down to quotes, guys. Like this, I told you my notes were skim on this one.
I have one quote, and the only other thing is breaking down the fight with Siegel.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, Seagal.
Yeah, I know. I kept doing the same thing.
I can't get Jason Siegel out of my head.
Jason Segel, yeah.
I can't get it out of my head.
actually, I did have one quick nitpick within the scene that we were just on.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you're trying to fake your viewers out about someone dying or not dying,
Mm.
please do better. And what I'm referring to is what's Lindsay's character's name?
I want to say like Molly
Jane?
or
No, it's not
Ann.
Jane.
Oh.
Some basic white girl name. April.
April. All right.
Some
Close.
basic white girl name.
June, Jane, April. I almost got
You
there.
were there.
Yeah.
You knew it was a month.
She shows up. You've got McLaughlin laying on the ground, aka De Niro,
Mhm.
and you get the whole in the name of my father, I forgot the rest.
Which
Boom,
was
boom,
funny.
right? Dead center to the chest. Here's an idea. Maybe throw some fake blood. Because if you're popped in the chest and there's no blood at all, I'm like, I knew an instant like that didn't kill him. He's probably got a vest on. And I was right. Go ahead, Nick.
You know what's funny about that? I actually, you can see the vest behind the jacket. Like you can see the imprint. It's like a yeah, you can see it because it above like here it like dips down like 2 inches.
Yep.
Like he's definitely got a vest on.
Yeah, and so like when they do the scene of him waking up, I was like, I'm not even shocked. Like, shock me, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's 0.2 to the chest. Show the blood. And I'm like, oh, that guy's gone. But then all of a sudden, the next scene later on at night, he wakes up. And I was like, oh my god, he had a vest. I didn't even see that.
It was very anticlimactic for
it
sure.
was super It was like disappointing almost. Go ahead, Nick or Matt. Sorry.
The other white guy.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Like to me, this feels like a failure on her part of like shooting a man. Like absolutely, there should be blood. You shot him 3 times in the chest. He should be bleeding.
Mhm.
But it didn't bother me so much. It's also one of those things where it's like I was like, because he's the bad guy, right? Like he's the guy that we want to die.
I don't know, man.
But-
I'm a ride or die De Niro. Like I hate when I see De Niro die in movies. I can't stand it.
I mean,
Yeah.
fair, but the things that like I kind of nitpick about it all is like he wakes up, he's going down the fence, and the redneck dudes are back, and they're like, "There's another one, boys," and it's like these guys are still out doing what they've been doing, and because they dressed him up to look like a Mexican, they think he's a Mexican, and they just shoot him. Lands on the electric fence, like it's so like he still dies in a very anticlimactic way. But it gives us whatever justice we need, I suppose.
But he actually looked happy. Did you notice that?
I think he was glad that it was over. Like it's just like it's just done. It's over. I don't have to play this bullshit game anymore. But my nitpick with with this whole thing is they have this huge battle. Everybody is fighting. All of the white guys is the easiest way to describe them, die, except for these 3 dudes that escape. 3 guys. And it's like, you didn't finish the job. You didn't hunt these guys down. You let these 3 idiots go? Like, that was my problem. It's like, these guys just casually kind of get away, in my opinion. They shouldn't have. And then there's this cutscene and they're still doing the same bullshit. Like, that's the things that I don't like. That's my nitpick. De Niro survives, don't care so much. He gets his comeuppance and dies. They shoot him. But it's these guys, really?
Yeah, no, that's a valid point.
So. I never thought about that. You're talking about the 3 guys that shoot McLaughlin, right?
Yeah,
those guys. See, I never even thought about them surviving the fight. I was more so focused on like how ironic and like I don't know if unfortunate is even the word to use, but you have this white guy senator who is making these political statements, and then yet he gets mistaken for the very thing that he's that he ran his whole political campaign on, and he dies. Yeah, and dies on the electric fence that he said he wanted to build, and then he gets shot, and like what? It's so. Is it sad? Is it unfortunate? Like, do you deserve that? Is it like, is that you get what you get? Like, what is the?
I believe the word you're looking for is karma.
I mean, yeah. Is it karma? Is it is it realistic? I don't know. It was interesting though. I didn't predict that though, that's how he would actually die. Yeah.
It would have been funnier if he escaped to Mexico.
If you just hopped over that electric fence.
he makes it into Mexico and he's like, haha, I'm free.
Or and they also make it like Jim Carrey in Fun with Dick and Jane, where he punched in the face, so he has like the lips and
He
he has
can't
like
speak.
the dirt on him. and everything.
He takes the O from De Niro and adds it to his first name, so he's Roberto De Niro.
Oh man. Matt,
I know that's so stupid, but
That was funny.
you had comments on the Machete. I forgot
Torres.
Seagal's character's name, but
Torres. I like
Torres.
that Torres was such a villain throughout, but this fight scene was so anticlimactic, and it's like it's a good fight. They were clang clang. Oh, he loses a blade. Oh, he loses a blade. Clang clang. Like it was a good fight, and then Machete is down. Torres is over top of him, and they're gonna kill him, and then they flat out say no, they're not. He's Machete, and it's like. You're not supposed to say that when you're in the movie. Like, we know they're not going to kill him. He's Machete. Like, that's way to, which is lame. Okay, fine. And then he pops up, he stabs him in the stomach. And then this is where it really, really falls for me. That blade is through and through. Sure, let's say it missed every vital organ possible. He does the whole this is nothing. I could kill you right now. It's like that. Like everything that he is saying, and I'm like, this is the dude who just got bitch slapped by somebody he was talking shit to for the last 10 minutes, and he was like, I could kick your ass. I could kick your ass right now. I'd totally fuck you up, man. I would do it. I would totally do it. That's the vibe that I get. And he's just, and it's like, I could kill you right now, but it's not even worth it. I'll see you in hell. And just like Samurai kills himself. I don't know I can't remember what that ceremony or whatever
Seppuku?
it is. Is it seppuku? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the term for it.
Yeah, and he just pulls that move, and it's like fucking lame. It's just so lame. And again, it boils down to what I assume is in Seagal's contract of he cannot lose a fight, and it's just I don't lose this fight. I just kill myself. I quit. I
forfeit.
It's not even a forfeit. It's just I don't even feel like fighting anymore. So I'm just gonna kill myself. It's so fucking lame.
it's
I have a theory. Maybe he just doesn't actually want to kill people because in the intro, do you remember what he says when he has the sword right to Machete's neck, and he is like, "You're not even, or you're not worthy to be killed right now," or something like that, right? Doesn't he say something like that?
Something along those lines.
No, it's
Yeah.
An honorable death would be if I cut off your head, but you don't deserve an honorable death.
You don't deserve an honorable, yeah. So maybe he just doesn't want to kill people,
No, because
but he talks shit. He's like
he
he's a
just
tough guy.
decapitated his wife's head
Oh, that's true. That's true.
seconds ago.
Right, seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Well,
Never
like,
mind. Scratch
that-
that theory.
That was a badass moment of the whole, the villain saying, I'm not going to kill you. That's too easy. I want you to stay alive and suffer and remember what I did. That's what a villain should do at the beginning of a movie. Take everything away from the hero and say, all right, now live with it, bitch. That's what he should have done. But then this fight.
But no, I agree, Matt. The ending of our villain is very anticlimactic, and it's so stupid. Like when he was talking as if nothing had happened, I'm like, I'm out. I can't. You just got a freaking that what 3 foot, 3.5 foot blade through your freaking abdomen, and you're just gonna talk to me like it's just everyday people here. Come on.
It gives me Holy Grail vibes with the Black Knight.
Dude, oh my god, I was just about to say that.
It's a flesh wound.
It's but a scratch.
Yeah, are you fucking serious?
Wow, that's so funny.
Your arm is
We're
off. I've cut you in
It's
half.
also,
You're
like,
on the
something that, like,
ground.
It's something that Leslie Nielsen would do. Like if he got stabbed in the heart, he'd be like, "Oh, what a lovely day. Oh, I just got stabbed in the heart."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that type of shit.
Boy, this has
And then
become
he
a
dies
really
and passes out,
inconvenient
whatever.
day.
Yeah. Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got quotes and final thoughts.
I think I have one quote.
Me too.
I have one quote. I said all the other ones.
It's a good. Wait, is it the same quote? Do you guys want to say it at the same time? We've done this before.
Mine's like at the very beginning of the movie.
No, then no, it's not.
Oh, okay. No.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can go first, Brian. It's okay.
Well, because I mean, we've said this quote, but I'll just say it. So technically, I have two quotes. We've mentioned it a couple times, but it's Machete, don't text.
I did have that one too, and that's why I was like, I'm not saying that one. Not this
But
one though.
It's even though we've said it multiple times, it's still when we're talking quotes, you have to mention it.
That's a good
You
one.
have to.
It's a good quote. I did like it.
I also liked the follow up that no one ever talks about.
Machete improvises.
Machete improvises.
Oh,
That
yeah,
one's
yeah,
amazing.
That
I
one
almost
was
like
good.
that better than the Machete don't text.
Oh, oh God. She calls him out. I thought Machete doesn't text. Machete improvises. It was so good. That was so good.
Trail's big ass finger.
Yeah.
Oh, like the T9 texting or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Was that the scene where she was like when Jessica Alba's character was cooking him breakfast or something or lunch?
No, they're at the church.
It's
They just
it's
they
after
just
they
saw
see us.
they just saw his brother crucified.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's
We
probably
didn't even
like-
talk about that. Jeez.
we don't need to talk about Cheech being crucified. That was fucked up. Though.
That was sad.
Yeah, it was...
Well, and that was one of the things that did give me like Boondock Saints vibes of like, you kill a priest in a church. Like, oh, that's one fucking way to do it. You literally
Yeah,
crucify him.
yeah.
Like, holy shit. Yeah. So my quote, it's right at the beginning when he's literally in the car with his partner. And I think they've decided they're going to do the thing, they hang up the phone call, he crushes the radio or whatever. And his partner says something like, "What are we going to do, boss?" And he's like, he pulls up his machete and goes, "This is the boss." I think it was like the first line that Machete actually says along like, "This is the boss," and just holding up that machete. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! This is how you start."
That is a good line. That's great.
All right, and then my last one. I've heard so many quotes about how a girl feels that they're being checked out, you know, something classic like take a picture, it'll last longer, all that stuff. I have never heard this one in my life, and I'm like writing that down. I can feel your eyeballs in my uterus.
Oh. Yeah.
That is the top of just the apex for I can feel you checking me out. Like I can't think of anything better than that.
That is the S tier of hitting on
does
women.
not get any higher than that quote.
That one was good. What was his response though? It was like, "At least it's not Uranus" or something.
Or at least it's not your I think something like that.
I felt like it was like a Planet reference where he might have said, "At least it's not your
anus,
asshole."
or was it scrotum?
At least it's not
No,
rectum. At least it's not your rectum.
rectum. It might have been rectum.
Might have.
I forgot, but
I feel like
I'm
it
oh
wasn't along the lines of "at least it's not your asshole," but
Yeah.
like that was the joke.
I can feel your eyeballs in my uterus.
Yeah.
That bravo. Whoever someone wrote that down and was just like, I'm I'm gonna get rewards for
That's
that.
gold.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Ladies use
That's a
it.
great one.
Yeah.
Because you'll confuse most pig-headed men because they're like, what's a uterus?
Yeah.
Go into google.com.
Or they're like stupid and be like, "What do you feel? Me in your uterus?"
Might be a better comeback. I don't know.
Oh
Ba-dum.
shit.
All right. Nick, did you have any quotes or anything?
No.
No?
I didn't write anything down for this one.
Okay. Well, final thoughts. Who won the movie?
Yeah.
I'll go first just because I want to take it. Huge shout out to Robert Rodriguez because obviously this is like it's very much his artistic vision. He's one of the writers, one of the directors. It screams his style for sure. I mean, like this is very much him. But Machete is not Machete without Machete. Danny, it is Danny Trejo for sure. I mean, like he is perfectly cast for this movie. He nails it. I want to see the sequels again just to see if he gets more, like if he gets more lines, if he gets to actually act more, and he's not just some stoic dude who's just killing people left and right. Even if he is, who cares? It's fucking great. So huge shout out to Danny Trejo. Like this is his movie. This is him. He made it happen with all of his phone calls because Machete don't text.
Danny Trejo is Danny Trejo.
In Danny Trejo.
The movie Danny Trejo.
All right. Yeah. I'm glad that we're done with this one. Moving on. My honorable mention, I got to give it to my girl Michelle Rodriguez. She really brought her A game on this one. She was fun character watch. It was like kind of a little bit of Letty, but you could tell that there was some twists there too. So it was good to see that she kind of came out of her character that she had been playing for years. And then it's obvious. It's got to be Danny Trejo for this one. He was an interesting character to watch. I just wish it was a better story that he was in, and it was, just a better movie he was in. But Danny Trejo once again did his thing, and he takes it.
Nick, before you go, have any of you guys seen Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
See what?
Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy?
Bubble Boy with Jake Gyllenhaal?
It is Jake. Okay, I was trying to remember who it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Danny Trejo in that movie?
I don't.
Oh my God, it's amazing. He's like Mexican biker. Like he's this big scary guy that Bubble Boy meets along the way and like befriends. And then you find out that Bubble Boy's mom and Danny Trejo, I can't remember what his actual name is, were a couple.
Oh my God.
Like they were together, and it wasn't until I guess like Bubble Boy's dad shows up that like kind of like she went a different way. But there were a couple of moments in this movie and stuff where I'm picturing Danny Trejo and Bubble Boy and just hearing him looking at a beautiful woman and going, "Wildfire?" Like it's just the sweetest. Like he's
Okay.
he's so,
I do remember this now when you said that.
so
Yes.
intense, and then just like completely softens up for that wildfire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I love Danny Trejo, but like,
There's another Danny Trejo memory that I have where he's like in a Mexican compound, and someone rolls up on him. I think it's Breaking Bad.
is he in Breaking
Because
Bad?
They're basically loading up a ton of drugs, and Danny Trejo is just kind of staring and watching him, and then they leave, and you think that something is gonna happen. I don't know if it's Breaking Bad or not. I can't remember, but he's like the leader, and he's like this. It's Danny Trejo in like peak shape. I mean, he is massive, colossal in this one. I just can't remember what it is. If it's a movie, TV show, I couldn't tell you.
I'm looking at his IMDb credits. 449 acting credits.
It's insane.
449.
It's insane. God, what is that? I know that there's a ton of drugs and they just load it up. Yeah. Oh well.
I'm so
Was
happy.
he
to be
in Breaking
seeing
Bad, Matt?
cartoons. I'll look right now, but I'm so happy to see that he's in cartoons. It's just so funny to me. He's on Disney, man. It's so funny.
He's in everything, dude.
I love him. He reminds me of like Snoop Dogg, how he just shows up everywhere.
Yeah.
when did Breaking Bad end?
That's funny.
What'd you say?
When did Breaking Bad end?
Ooh.
I just want to make sure. Like, give me a
09?
ballpark. 09? Okay.
Like, no.
I don't.
It ended. It ended like 2011, 12. You guys are kind of freezing up on me a little bit.
I don't remember.
I'm scrolling through. Like I said, there's 400 freaking credits to go through. I just want.
Well,
to
you know,
sure
you
I'm,
can
going
type
past it.
right at the top of it if you're on IMDb.
2013.
2013. Okay.
Matt,
At the top of what?
if you're at the top of like whatever, if like you click on an actor and then you click on like what they've been in,
Mhm.
at the very top you can type whatever show you think they might be in, and it will automatically go to it if it's there.
He is in Breaking Bad. He's in 2 episodes.
What's his name?
Tortuga.
Tortuga. Yes.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of then.
I do remember him. Wow, as soon as you said it, it's just like the image came back.
Yeah.
Tortuga.
You really can do this. Has that search always been there?
Yes.
Wow. I've never used it.
Might save you some time there, buddy.
I've never used it. I've never.
All right,
knew-
Nick,
I
what you
never
got, bud?
noticed. Yeah. I think it's still a fun movie. Yes, there's a lot of things that don't add up or are wrong with it, but I still very much enjoyed it enough to watch it twice. But who wins it for me? Yeah, I mean, I think it would just have to go to Danny Trejo for sure. There's just no question about it. Like he is this movie, literally. Yeah.
God. Oh man, that's fucked up. Sorry, I was going through his stuff and I just saw like he's in 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, and the way he dies is not cool.
No.
That's pretty fucked up. It's funny, but it's pretty fucked up. They put his head on a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucked up.
Oh my god, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so sorry, spoiler alert for anybody else who hasn't seen Breaking Bad, but like fuck, that's messed up.
I forgot about that.
Okay. we have done it. We have finished up Machete. This was fun, guys. I really appreciate it. But Brian, we don't have to bring it up anymore. We will, but we don't have to bring it up anymore. So with that being said, do you have our palate cleanser for next week?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of
Machete kills.
the irony is really funny once I reveal it. But here's a clue. In shepherds we shall be.
For thee, my lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand, so that we may swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
Matt, you're scaring me. Stop.
Sweet. Is this
What are we
because
doing?
we're heading into?
I'm very impressed that you just dropped that in memory. Like that. Can you actually finish it?
In nomine Patri et Filii Spiritus Sancti.
I never got that part.
It's the name of the Father and Son, and the Holy Spirit. In
I know,
nomine
but I can
Patri et
never say
Filii
it.
Spiritus Sancti. Yeah, man. Do I know the prayer? Fuck yeah, I
It's
know
so
the
funny that you
prayer.
brought up the movie twice. But yes.
I was just thinking about this movie. I was thinking about the sequel, but I was just thinking about this movie. Oh, I haven't
Can
watched.
you tell me what the name is, please?
The
Goddamn.
the Boondock Saints streaming on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Man, I might have to watch this twice because I'll watch it. I'll watch it on Hulu. Actually, I'll watch it on DVD because I'm like, that's the way to do it. I got it on Blu-ray. Oh God, it's amazing.
Yeah, I own both. I own it and the sequel.
Same. Oh God, I still hope they make it a third one.
Oh, wait, I have seen this movie before.
I can't wait. I can't
Wait,
wait for this.
Matt,
I got
did
so
you and I
excited. I
watch-
got so excited.
I
when
think we
saw it
might
on Hulu.
have.
I'm like, yes.
We may have
It
watched.
was either
this.
me and you, Matt, that watched it, or me and Cody that watched it.
It honestly could have been either, but
Yeah.
no, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
I fucking love this movie. This is
So
gonna
here's
be
our
fun.
cleanser.
Yeah, man. Okay. I've got my motivation for where my pick will be. I'll wait for that week when it comes. But actually, while I was thinking about this, so Brian, you mentioned the 10th, not being able to do the 10th.
Correct.
I am going to say that I cannot do the 10th as well because
Oh,
it's
okay.
Jamie's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I think it would be wise to not do a movie club on the love of my life's birthday.
Yeah.
So perhaps we take the week off and come back for St. Patrick's Day, I think is what it would be.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
it would
let's
be
do
because
that.
if we skip the 10th, it would be St. Patrick's Day. Do you guys have plans for St. Patrick's Day on Monday?
Nope.
What day is that? 17th?
17th?
I mean, no, not now.
Not anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe
Yeah,
talk some movies with you
it seems
guys.
like now I do.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's a Monday. I don't think you can really do much,
Yeah, everyone's gonna party on the weekend.
as you
let's be real.
should, when it's
Yeah.
safe. Okay, then yes. For all of those listening, we will potentially be taking a break on March 10th for personal reasons, so that we can come back and party hard with the green beer the next week. I will definitely be having a Guinness that night. Maybe two. We'll see how it goes. But all right. Tune in next week here on YouTube at GoodFlickas to hear our live chat on the Boondock Saints. Very exciting. Give us a follow on Instagram at good.flickas. Give us a like, give us a follow. And follow us here on YouTube. Hit that bell, get subscribe, do whatever it is that they actually say that it is. But follow us, share our videos. Share, spread us around, like us, share us, follow us, and tell your friends. GoodFlickas, YouTube. You can always send us an email at goodflickas2020@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some advice, and we'll make changes like the 5-minute rule, which is probably wise. I'm surprised we didn't hit the limit more. So we did good. We did good for the first
I liked
time.
it. I really like it.
It worked well. It was fun. But other than that, like I said, tune in next week here on YouTube Live for the Boondock Saints streaming on Hulu. Other than that, Brian, take us out.
Yeah.
I should say roll out, I guess.
Roll this out.
Time to roll out.
Roll up.
Thank you. My head went that way too.
Get the hydraulics ready, ladies. Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this one. And to all of our lovely lady listeners out there, if anyone is checking you out, just turn around and just say, I can feel your eyeballs in my uterus. I guarantee they won't know what to do. So just do that, and we'll see you next week.
Way to double down on the uterus.
You had to.